Welcome. Hello. Welcome again. Thanks for joining us. This is the College Genesis, the chief host of a Voice of the College Nation radio show, guiding you through the next few hours in some interesting conversation, stimulating debate. We were supposed to do a simulcast Dynasty tonight at night, but we couldn't figure it out. Dynasty couldn't figure it out. So I just went on his show tonight, did like for old time's sake, went on his show as a guest. I said since he does his early, I do mine late, so we'll just roll that in. But he definitely promoted my show, and I appreciate Dinas Amir. He's a friend to this platform and a friend of mine. You know, he's a friend of ours. But Dinas is definitely a friend of ours. You know, he made his bones. You know, he's a made guy. You know, Dinas is definitely a made guy. You know, he made his bones in this business, whatever like that. So we're gonna always respect Dinas Amir for what he does for us or whatnot. You know, where would we be without Diane Samir? You know, really, that guy is just phenomenal. You know, his contribution to this movement is unshakable. But yeah, so we got a good show for tonight. Now, when you got topics like where's the holiday for Samuel Doe, you know it's going down tonight. You know it's gonna be a knockdown drag out. You know, we're talking about the same topic of Diane's show, so segue into my show. My good friend Sando Morris is on Diane's show. I told him to call in and whatnot. He just got his book published on Liberia and Sierra Leone history. And I told him to call, hey, what's up, Frenchie? And I told him, man, you know, call in and whatnot. So he just gave a nice history lesson. He knows way more about Liberian history than I do. You know, see, let me tell you something, folks. I don't just talk to anybody. You know, I talk to people who publish books and they're peer reviewed. You know, Sandra Morris is a scholar on Liberian history. He's an authority on Liberian history, and I had him on Diane's show. He's speaking now on Diane's show. You know, I don't want nobody going over there. I want everybody to come over here. But the bottom line is this: we thank Diane Samir for his help. You know, and boost this. We got like 12 subscribers. You know, Diane's helped me get 12 new subscribers today, so we're almost that close to getting that 1,000 subscribers. We'll probably have that by the end of the week, you know. But welcome, folks. Welcome here, whatnot. You know, this is all part of the Colin Nation family, the social guru, Dynas's family. You know, he's a family. He's my brother. Love him. You know, Dynas can do no wrong in my book. You know, so you know, he's always been a friend. Even though I take jabs at him and whatnot, and whatnot, but that's expected. I'm College Genesis. I'm gonna take jabs at everybody, man. I'm gonna take shots at everybody. You just gotta understand that comes with the territory. That means I just love you. You know, I love you enough to take shots at you every once in a while. You know, but yeah. So the topic tonight: why is Samuel Doe howling in Liberia? Now the other show we had was what's the other show? It was my Sunday night sermon. We got into it with the Olmecs and whatnot. You know, like I said, I realized history is not my brothers and sisters' strong point. You know, people can't give you dates. They can't, you know, they're like, Colin, I want to debate you on the Olmecs and whatnot. You know, and I asked my good brother Bantu Mandinka, you know, some questions. He failed every one of them. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Damn, you felt really strong with your chest out like you want to debate College Genesis about the Olmecs. I just asked him 6 questions and he flopped. You know, then Johnson tried to come to the rescue without all on cue or whatnot. Anywhere Jonathan has to debate me, he comes through on the rescue, man, and he couldn't answer anything. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? You know, I tell you, man, you know, I don't know a whole lot, man. But I know a few things. I know a few things, you know. I know when people are freaking getting a bullshit, you know. People make up bullshit and call it history, you know. Look, what are you talking about bullshit? You can put whipped cream on it, right? You can put a cherry on top, whatnot, you know. You can put in a pie crust on that. It's still bullshit. And you don't eat it. Because even though it looks good, whatnot, you get a good whiff at it, whatnot, you smell the bullshit. And that's your warning. Don't bite into the shit. Don't eat the shit. You know? So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're talking about Samuel Doe. Why is President Tubman has a holiday, right? He's a evil American Liberian. He's an evil Congo man. And then you have a little dinosaur show, right? Elvis goes, "Yeah, man, Colin, man, we're gonna get you tonight, man. We got, I got my Liberian brother in here. When I say he's a crime boy, no, he's a minor boy. We're gonna tag it, yo." I said, nigga, how old are you? 26, 26 years old. Nigga, you were just a baby yesterday. You gonna sit here and debate history with the college Genesis? Man, you weren't even alive when none of this shit was like, what you heard, like Elvis, what I heard, See, like I said, that's the whole thing. That's a problem, right? When you're dealing with Liberians, right? What's up, Dave? Hey, Dave, you should have been on Dynasty Show. We was talking about Liberia. I had Sando Morris on, I had my good brother, so he just published his book. And I guess he used some of my material in his book when But I tell you what, I deal with all fucking scholars, man. I don't deal with half-asses when it comes to history. When the history I'm telling you on this platform is real. You could when anybody want to put their credentials up against mine and who I talk to and whatnot, you listen to them. This dude, man. I just asked him a simple question, and he just gave you the 1-2 step. That's the whole thing when we deal with people like Elvis and all these people. They don't never answer the damn question, right? They want you to answer their questions, but they never answer the damn question. We're doing the 1-2 step. And, Elvis is doing the Liberian shuffle. Elvis is just foot shuffling, man. I'm like, damn, Elvis, answer the damn question, nigga. Yeah, but the bottom line is this: we're winning this war. They don't know. Of course, they don't know Liberian history. They don't know nothing. All they know is a bunch of rumors they had told them about illiterate people. Yeah, my ancestors told me your ancestors were literate. They were illiterate. These are the same people that were sitting at the polls. Yeah, Congo woman born, Native woman born soldier. All these ignorant people. The bottom line is any civilization you build, right? You have to have protection from the ignorant masses. That's how America's set up. When early America, right? One thing they knew is you have to basically, the wealthy people, America's settled and built by wealthy people. That's like, damn. But what if the poor people decide to rise up and whatnot and start killing you, kidnapping you? You have to put the fear of God in people. If you don't have that friggin' safety of power, I don't know why our ancestors chose to let these people, knowing how they were, get a hold to the fucking power. You never let people that fucking are primitive like that rule it. It's not even that. In all societies, right? You cannot let the fucking poor and the hungry, or from the last show I did was the unhappy and the unlucky ever gain power. I would add to this, right? The hungry, the unhappy, and the unlucky should never have power. Now, if you want to talk before that, and we'll talk about direction, no matter what we do, right? When I went to a Black Lives Matter thing, talking about Black Lives Matter, I saw a bunch of hungry, unhappy, and unlucky people. I'm sorry, that's the truth. And the bottom line, I have to hurt people's feelings. If we ever want to get free in the black race and whatnot, we got to start hurting people's feelings. The hungry, the unhappy, and the unlucky. We're going to provide for them. We're going to guide them. We're going to protect them. But power, absolutely not. Having a say-so, absolutely not. The hungry, the unhappy, the unlucky. You cannot have a society run by angry malcontents. What you have then is mob rule. Once a civilization has been taken over by mob, that's what it's all about. You look at study history, right? From the ancient Greeks, when they sat around, the elephant in the room was protection against the mob rule. How do we build a civilization? How do we build a society? Every law, and this is why I tell you, black people say that we built. I don't believe black people built civilization. the first thing you got to figure out, right, before you build a city, right? When you build a city, you got to figure out where you're going to eat and where you're going to shit. When you build a city. When you build a civilization, a society, you got to say how do you separate the haves from the have-nots? How do you protect the haves and provide general welfare for the have-nots? So you have peace and order and civility. When you have a bunch of angry people, right, who feel trapped in poverty, misery, and they're unhappy, unlucky, and they're hungry, you got to power the keg. No matter what kind of philosophy you think, you cannot let the powerless, unhappy, unlucky, and angry masses ever gain power because they will kill you. They're not gonna think in terms of reason and logic. It's like that to this day. So you look at these guys like Elvis and this other guy that was on the show. These people are descended from the hungry, the unhappy, and the unlucky, right? That's why Samuel Doe was their hero, right? Because he represented the unhappy, the poor, the disenfranchised, and the unlucky. So Samuel Doe is always going to be their hero, because there's nothing wrong with that, whatever that. I mean, I gotta worship him, So bottom line is this. So we're going to talk about that tonight, right? Why is it that Samuel Doe is not a holiday, right? Because something, despite all that, people tend to be, human nature is to be optimistic. People like bravado and they like optimism and stuff like that, Yeah, we can, Liberia's history is recorded. They can lie all they want, but the history is right there in the books. And we use reason and logic or not, say that doesn't sound right. One of the most reasonable, logical thing was, why the hell is Samuel Doe, if he's supposed to be such a hero, why doesn't he have a holiday? Could it be the Lutheran Church massacre? And this fool and Dine should talk about, yeah, some of my people killed in them, but you understand that was war. See, that's what it said when they talk about fools. That's Stockholm syndrome. When your oppressor, right, are killing you, you identify oppressor. Samuel Doe oppressed his people, the Mono people, and the Ma people, the Geo people, right? But he has Stockholm syndrome because he was able to convince him that the American Liberians were so bad that we can come and kill you. We can wipe out half your tribe, whatnot. You so folk fixated on the American Liberians and whatnot, you gonna love Samuel Doe. These people are fools. And the reason why they think the reason why they're in the situation right is because that's the way they think. That's why a lot of these people, they're never gonna amount to nothing. They're gonna die in poverty. They're gonna die in misery. They're gonna wallow in misery for their last breath before they leave this earth, will be cursing the American Liberians in their own misery and hatred. So we're talking about that tonight. We're talking about a lot of things tonight, folks. We're talking about a lot of things tonight, folks. We're gonna get it on tonight, on and popping. So but yeah, like back to I thought about something, right? What my good friend, my good brother I love, Bantu Mandinka, I thought about him today, I'm trying to be funny or nothing like that, right? I'm not trying to be clowning my brother or whatever. I'm trying not by no means. But I thought about him, man. Imagine him that's why I said, man, we got to do something about this reparation rhetoric, right? Because a lot of our Negroes are going to lose their mind, right? I thought about, man, imagine Bantu Mandinka, 80 years old in a nursing home, right? And so, Mr. Mandinka, what do you want for lunch today? I don't know. Cut the check. FBA all day. No, Mr. Mandinka. What do you want for lunch, Yeah, I know. That's what I said. These people come on the show. It's just like in the chat, right? When we have this Afrosphere, somebody always come in and want to talk about their freaking precious Hausa people, and they hijack the show, And look, it's like, dude, let's talk about that tonight. We'll talk about Liberia. Even though I had to do my show anyway, But Sando Morris, I handed it off to him, man, because he could finish talking about Liberian history or something like that. People could poke him with some questions, So the bottom line is that's what they do. They come in and hijack the show, You know, these Fulani people. They always talk about that glorious empire. What the fuck are you doing nowadays? You know, they always talk about, oh man, we Hausa, we Fulani, and all these tribal idiots. You know, but back to Mandinka. I don't want to see him sitting in a corner throwing his jello on the floor, talking about where's my reparations, where's my cut my check, you know, FBA all day and whatnot, you know. I don't want to see Bantu Mandinga end up like that. So we gotta do something, you know. FBA all day, FBA all day, cut the check, cut the check, cut the check. Now he can't. We can't have Bantu Mandinga sitting in a nursing home, you know, assisted living facility, or nursing home, doing that, you know, in his wheelchair. You know, he can't be doing that. You know, he should be getting his pudding for lunch, his dessert. You know, he can't be sitting in a corner talking about FBA all day, FBA all day. It's not a good look, you know. And then which we call it, then he'll get a visit by Jonathan Miller when that. Oh, you old fool and that. But Bantu, we go way back to Colin Nation show and that. Cut the check, nigga. Cut the check, nigga. So you know, it's you know, it troubles me, you know. I want to see all my brothers win. I really do. I really see them win, you know. But you can't have a losing philosophy, a losing strategy, you know. I look. I had to, yeah. Last night on TikTok, right? Oh my god, I am so right. You could call me Coladamus, you know, because I'm a fucking a psychic, you know. You know. This chick was I was trolling on TikTok. Yeah, you know, I like going in there causing trouble, going trouble, particularly these FBA chicks when I, you know, she was sitting there going off about reparations. We gonna get reparation or not. And somebody, and I was in the chat room, like I said, well, you got reparations, you got welfare. She said, stop the damn show. Who is this college Genesis in the chat room? First of all, she goes, first of all, I wish I could play this back. The reparation, I mean, welfare Section 8 went to everybody. And who are you to come up my show? And I was like, well, let me on. She's like, you won't come up here, I guarantee you. You won't come up here and say that to me. Blah, blah, blah. And I kept going on about, I said, look, I was just trying to be nice, but I said, look, you got reparations, you got welfare. I said, everybody, all you sisters on this platform are welfare recipients. They all just went off, man. I said, all y'all are cooking. I know, look, I said, look, I know people, most people who talk about reparations grew up on welfare, Section 8, and I was like, or basically are on it currently. Because they really do believe, right, that the white man will hand them something for nothing, just for being. So we deserve reparations just for being. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that they really believe that. That's how they collect Section 8. When not, they could work a job and still collect Section 8. You know, ripping off the system. You know. Yeah. So, hold up. I got Sando Morris. He must. DK. Sando Morris is calling me. I bet you anything he's talking about the fact that he was cut off. Watch. Give me 1 second, folks. That was Sando Morris. Just gave me an earful. He said, "Man, who are these dudes that don't know history and whatnot?" I said, "Welcome to social media, man. Everybody thinks they're a fucking historian. They never read shit." See, Sando Morris is a real historian. You see, he's gonna come on in a little while. I'm gonna show you a real scholar, right? Not no internet pseudo shit. You know, when you deal with college genesis, you deal with people who are. That's why I don't give a damn how much I like you. If you talk bullshit on my platform, I will shut you the fuck down. I have a pledge: no pseudo history on my in my presence. You know, so you've been warned, folks. But yeah, so he's gonna come on in a little while when I open up the live and everything. Hopefully, Sando Morris, man, he had a book published, man. He used some of my work, whatever. We've been working together for years, man. You know, I met him. We was in Liberia at the same time. He came to my wedding in 2021. You know, he was there, man. He said, "Yo, man, call me." I said, "Don't. I'm on freaking Sophia Rock, the south part of Sophia Rock Beach." You know. Next thing you know, him and his brother came down there. I was like, "Man, you guys right on time, man." You know. And he met with our pastor and whatnot. He said, "Oh yeah, I know him. I know." I said, "Oh, I know each other." Hey, look, man. So like I said, folks, I got a family in Liberia. I got a nature. I'm ready, man, to transition to from America to Liberia. I'm at that point. You know, I got all I need to transition to this other country. You know, and everything like that. So so yeah, good luck. What you call it? Mario Chai, man. Mario Chai lost 9 pounds. Keep it up on your weight loss journey. You know. But yeah, so folks, folks, why we're gonna in order for us to get our there's an old saying, let me look at this. If you don't know your past, you're bound to repeat it. There's too much of our history have been told to us, and I think about some of the stuff that I believe, right? So where did I hear that? By the way, where did I hear that from? You think that's stupid. Yeah, but where did I hear that from? And then it would be some random dusty bum motherfucker you overheard talking on the bus. I said, how did that stay in my head as my belief system all these years? Because the way people say stuff sometimes, whatnot, blah, 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 blah. Like what you call, like another one was this guy, Steve Coakley. The dude was a freaking outright clown. Now, his son is actually pretty cool. I'm cool with his son, man. But I'm sorry, man. Steve Coakley Sr. was a fucking joke. Every conspiracy theory, whatnot, he was going to start the thing with the boule and also like pseudo history, you know? Oh, yeah, Jewish doctors are injecting black babies with AIDS. This stupid stuff we pick up and believe. When you believe something, and that's going to shake your way of thinking, you got to be absolutely sure, right? Because when you say white people are trying to inject black people with AIDS, whatever, that's a freaking serious charge, an accusation. One thing we cannot do, we cannot become like Africans. An African will believe a lie and he'll act on a lie, and kill you over a lie or something that's not even really clear. We are more civilized than that, you know? Yeah, Steve Coakley was big, but he was a clown, All he gave us was conspiracy theories after conspiracy theories. Well, Frenchie, not you. You're different. You're not you. Not you do. But I'm just saying, based on what I'm saying, like our friends with Elvis and his partner right there, the bottom line, we're not like that. Before we actually act on something, you have black people to this day will give white people the benefit of the doubt. Nah, well, it's not all white people, blah, 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 after everything. But that's just our nature in Black America. We're always forgiving and we're always friggin' like this. That's why I really understand how is this FBA shit. How can you friggin' hate Africans and Caribbeans based on what a couple of them say online? Because they got their little get back against you. Let me tell you something, folks, right? Actually, I noticed when I was growing up, right? there's going to be people that's going to get nab at you because I know it's envy and jealous. My parents always tell me there's going to be people that's going to be jealous of you, envious of you, whatever like that. Other kids not going to like you. I knew that when I was growing up. So when I get picked on and whatnot, I used to feel sorry for the kids that picked on me because I really said because they really want to be me, something like that. Why can't Black Americans see that when you're getting attacked by these people they call tethers? Well, just let it go. Ignore them. There's no need to form a whole damn squadron, FBA. What the hell? I'm just looking at this. And then on the last Dine show, everyone's calling me a tether. I didn't know I was born in Jamaica. I didn't know I was born in the Bahamas. I didn't know all this stuff, According to the people in Dine's chat room, man, I am a tether. Fronting like I'm an FBA. I did not know that. I just know I don't have any Caribbean or relatives or ancestors or whatever like that. I don't know except by marriage or whatever. But everybody was telling me, I'm saying, oh, well, he's half tether or whatnot, This is ridiculous, right? Because I made the comment about, oh, yeah, see, Frenchie, man, I'm a tether now. Can you set me into the tether family? I'll join Frenchie, Wherever Frenchie is, I am, man. I'm a English, Cameroonian English tether, How about that? Yeah, boy, I'm representing the tether world, and I'm a tether now. So everybody call me a tether and whatnot, No, come on, man. If I was Jamaican, I'd kill myself for whoever made me, Man, if I found out I was Jamaican one night, I'd jump off the Empire State Building head first, The fuck out of here. Two things. What God, I bless God for is I'm not Nigerian and I'm not Jamaican, right? If I was any one of those two, If I was anywhere else too, I'd nosedive off the Empire State Building. So no, I'm not a Jamaican. Nothing against those people, but I think God blessed me when He made me what I am. So yeah, so you're gonna have people that's gonna hate on you, or whatever like that. There's no need for a full blown war against 3% of the Black population. These FBA people, man. Anyway, I was just in the chat room, right? I was just minding my business, just commenting on that. She was like, "Stop the show! Who the hell is this college Genesis fool? Whatnot? How dare you rise up against me?" I'm like, look, yeah. And you could tell she was one of those somebody's baby mama. If I got 3 different baby daddies and whatnot, she's online. And they was talking shit to this African lady. I mean, they were just like dogging her out, like, blah, blah, you people. And she was, this white guy got up there and went, "How dare you, and I think the guy said he was Italian. Oh, y'all swarthy, blah, blah, y'all not even fully white, blah, blah. They were just, it was really nasty. And then I basically got up there and just pointed out the fact that reparations already been paid out, man, because all you guys are on welfare right here. Man, they wanted my head, man. I'm surprised they kicked me off. It was like, "Oh, how dare you," or not. Reparations Section 8. And then she did something where she, yeah. Well, she did something where she did some certificate. She goes, "Okay, Kylie, I'm gonna read this right here. 80% of white women are on welfare. Blah, Black women." Like, I said, then what got them really mad was I said, well, I deal with this for a living. When I go to social services, 90% of the women in social service sitting in there in that lobby with their badass kids, waiting for like 6 hours to be seen by a caseworker, are Black women. They're trying to get their food stamp vouchers, their welfare, and their Section 8. Most of those people, when I go down there to Social Security or social services, I got to pick up something, whatever, forms or something, they be a Black women, the most educated group. They always tell us Black women be the most educated group of people on the planet, man. They be solving, probing space, curing science, whatnot. Man, what a sister gal can't do and whatnot, But yet when you go to the social services and the welfare office, my sisters be the main event, And I just pointed that out to them, and man, they were like, "Collar, we want your neck, man." I mean, they want my neck. I probably find that same lady. I should have friended with her so I could be like this, so I could troll her every time, right? They probably having a show about me right now. What not? What are we gonna do? Because so every time I go on one of these live streams and start trolling people, I look up the next day on TikTok, like 50 people looked at my profile. And then they was trying to say that I'm a white bot and whatnot, pretending to be black and whatnot. I said, no, I'd be a black man. No, I don't have the stats. I'm just saying what I see when I go down to the welfare office and I do stuff like that. I gotta go down there and get something from one of my clients as far as like their the health benefits and stuff like that. When I go down there, that's what I see. I see in my city, at least, man, I just see mostly black women in there. So it is what it is. I mean, but so therefore, that's a trade off, man. A lot of people on food stamps, college. That's not just black people. Principally, let's be honest with ourselves, bro. Let's really be honest with ourselves. Who proudly, when you go to a gas station or a grocery checkout, right? What group of people? No, they ain't Liberian women. No, I don't have any Liberian women in the area. Those are FBA women. Those are FBA women, right? The most welfare users group. When you go to the grocery store, right? Yeah, other people got EBT. Mexicans, when they got their EBT, they hide it. Okay, put your words in right. All of a sudden, they do it real fast so you can't see it. Black people will be freaking waving that card around, that white card, whatnot. Yeah, talking on the phone, whatnot, swiping the EBT, blah, 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 blah. Give me my grocery whatnot. But white people, when they got it, it's like a shame. They usually wait till nobody's looking or they go to a line, but not a lot of people in back of them or something like that. Black people don't give a damn, man. It's like, yo, man, it's my EBT card and whatnot, this. Oh, yeah, you see whites that show you the principle, yeah, in your dreams. I be seeing the black people. That's why I want to change things within Afghanistan, so we don't have to do that. So we don't take the white man's welfare and shit like that, because the white man ain't going to give you no reparations. And soon he's going to cut that welfare off soon, Then what y'all going to do, But yeah, so I have a good time on TikTok, man. It was a little disheartening, man, because I really wanted to reach out to my sisters when Yeah, but but Frenchie, most of those people, African guys, most of those people didn't pay into the system. They've been on it since they were kids. So you got people growing up not paying into the system if you could spend your whole life on the system, right, 20, 30 years, why are you asking for a damn reparations check? Welfare section is supposed to be temporary. 1 or 2 years at the most, get your feet. People, if you made a lifetime out of receiving welfare benefits in Section 8, don't talk to me about no damn reparations. I'm serious. So you already said you don't want single motherhood in Africa. So why are you bothered? Well, that's a real tough one. Some women are single. Some women can handle something. Like I know one of my friends that I grew up with, name is Raquel. She has her own talk show. I don't know what channel, but it's called Raquel. She is. Me and her, I was in love with her. She knew it too. But we were kids together. We knew each other since the 5th grade. She was like in 3rd. I was in 5th. Friends knew each other our whole life, whatnot. You know each other our whole life, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, I was supposed to be. Everybody else say that was supposed to be your wife. Drop dead gorgeous, beautiful girl next door. I thought she was a pain in the ass growing up. But when she turned 17, holy jeez. She came out with some leather pants and that cut shirt with the like back in the days with the girl on Flashdance used to have with the shoulder out. She was smoking freaking hot. And then I started seeing other guys start liking her. I was like, wait a minute, that's mine. You never got her. She was yours for the taking, right? But you didn't want her. I said, well, she was a tomboy. Then she fixed herself up. She looked fucking smoking hot, right? Anyway, I mean, we went out a couple times. And I just didn't know what to say to her or not. And then we moved to Virginia, and she got mad that I moved to Virginia. She was angry, and she came down here looking for me too. She went back to New York one night. She was in an abusive relationship, and this guy got her pregnant. Right, her daughter is like around 30 years old now. Her daughter's like a model. Now Raquel is rich. I didn't say her name. She's rich. She travels the world. She's always in Vegas. She does real estate and everything like that. She'd be closing on $1 million, multi-million-dollar properties. She's making millions, right? She raised her daughter as a single mom. She got since I was gone, and this dude was an abusive, whatever that. She said, "I'm going to be a single mom," and she raised her daughter, put her through modeling school, some of everything. So when you say single mothers, right? I think about her and her daughter a lot than I do about somebody sitting around gaining 50 pounds a year, sitting there eating government cheese and government milk and whatnot. That's not an image. I know a lot of women, black women, who are single mothers, got their degrees. They drive Audis, Lexuses, or shit like that. Got houses, got rental properties, everything like that. Not all single mothers are doing bad, you know. I said, Colin, you said a lot to say about her. Okay, what did I say highly offensive? Sometimes I be talking. I don't even know if I'm offending anybody. What did I say was highly offensive? I said I do know that there's when I got women talking about and you know something, I wouldn't even say this, right? Years ago, we had said that we figured out that all we in Black America need to do is spend more money with black people, right? You got a lot of black female businesses, right? Females open restaurants, whatnot. We want to support them. We want to make black business, particularly a number of black women entrepreneurs. We want to make them rich, super rich, uber rich, whatnot. We want money, millions and billions of dollars to be weren't you guys or yeah, I was out of shape. That key word was out of shape. We want to make black women millions and billions of dollars, right? Right. But we need to basically pull money together. Yeah, you're right. We need black banks. We need all this stuff like that, right? We need black investment clubs. We should have a combined portfolio of $200 billion worth of black investment clubs, right? When you have investment clubs, you can borrow lines of credit to build any business you can. And investment clubs that got stocks, bonds, real estate, whatnot, worth $200 billion, right? And then you have an investment club Congress where we all read the vote on something together. Like you might say a satellite television station for sale for $20 million. We come together, we buy it. You know, you know. Now I wasn't on Olympics, I was on something else. So we come together, we buy it. That's what I was talking about, right? But along comes Yvette Carnell and Tariq Nasheed talk about reparations. And then next thing you know, the most grimiest, dustiest Negroes got a platform. Reparations. Forget about business, something that we could have actually did. Because Black America does generate a lot of money, right? We could have actually done that. Build back financial freedom and stuff like that, If we had math, we got some people still think they could do it. $100 billion investment for a program. I don't think it could be one fund. I don't think black people trust each other. But you could have like 10,000 investment clubs, right? Each of them, let's see. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. Let's see. You tell me we can't form nationwide 10,000 African American investment clubs, right? Let's do the math, folks. Let's do the math. 10,000. Now, what would it take to get to the billions, right? Times, let's see, $5,000. Let's see, 10,000 investment clubs, right? Okay, no, wait a minute. That's wrong. I started off wrong. All right. 10,000 investment clubs that could put together a portfolio or average portfolio of $100,000 in assets, right? Let's do this. 10,000 times 100,000 equals, yo, there you go. That's $1 billion. That's 10,000 investment clubs that can put together and manage a $100,000 portfolio. That's what a lot of investment clubs have. They usually like 200,000. I only went as low as 100,000. You mean to tell me you don't have enough black associations, churches, fraternities, and groups to have 10,000? This first thing is to form 10,000 investment clubs. To do that, you're going to have to talk about it. It has to become part of the culture again. It was in the 90s. We were forming investment clubs. And then someone comes along and says, we don't need investment clubs or not. We're going to talk about reparations. We can talk about social justice. All this foolishness. So when I see people talking about reparations and it's led by these dusty ass fat black women that sit online with their hate and their nonsense all day, I'm going to say something. I'm sorry. We were doing so good in the 90s, right? We're on our way. And these dusty people, not only that, what the hell do we get out of fucking being disunited with a fucking massive continent like Africa, our ancestral homeland? This is insane. How the hell you talk about cutting ties with your ancestral homeland? Well, you know, despite all Africa's problems, right? You still got land. You still got natural resources. And you still got people. You got everything you need to free yourself. A market for goods. You know, everything you need. Any intelligent person group of people would figure this out. But no, we got people online talking about reparations and whatnot. Like the white man's going to be like, you know something, you know, we're going to give y'all reparations and whatnot. You know, oh, yeah. Look, I'm sick of niggas, man. I'm sick of you niggas. Really. I am. And I don't want to get to the point where I start hating black people, right? Because that's the next stage. You know, we don't want to pull ourselves out of this mess. We could have easily did that. You telling me that, okay, let's say 10,000 investment clubs, right? How many black organizations? Let's just say, let me see, how many black organizations? Let me chat PT, how many black organizations there are? Let me see. How many black organizations there are? How many black organizations are there in America? Let's see this number, folks. No, he ate some bad food. It was bad. I think he ate some from Chinese people, you know. The bottom line, they should have took him to one of the nice restaurants. You know, you don't eat. Rule number one, he was in West Point and all this like that. You don't eat no freaking. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anybody going to Africa, they don't eat no fucking food from a road. You eat in a place. Check out the restaurant. Look at the place and make sure they're clean and get some reviews and whatnot. You know, don't eat at everybody's restaurant. Don't eat everybody's food. You know, that's a mistake. I don't eat everybody's food. If I have to hurt your feelings, I will. No, I'm sorry. Oh, go come here and eat some fucking food. No, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Sorry. You know, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Okay. There are tens of wow. It says here there's like 1.8 million black nonprofit organizations. How many of them are black? I didn't ask that, you know. It says there are tens of thousands of black-led organizations, self-serving organizations. Now you think about that. There's tens of thousands of black-led organizations. I only said 10,000. If there are tens of thousands of black-led organizations, shouldn't the black intelligentsia be saying, you know something, it's time for each organization to find for investment portfolio. Now, some of you will only have a portfolio worth 15,000 at the most. Some of you can have a portfolio worth millions. But in the middle will be about $100,000, right? $100,000 portfolio, right? Times scale that, right? Then you got to average like about $10 to $15 billion portfolio. That's on track to creating that $100 billion national portfolio for Black America. But we cannot talk about that because we got lazy people talk about reparations and whatnot, because social media gives these people a platform to talk their nonsense. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to end that friggin' stupid nonsense talking about reparations. If you're not talking about organizing and building Black wealth and Black generational wealth, don't talk to me. Now, you can't eat from anybody. If that was somebody like that coming in, the government of Liberia should have been like that. This is what should have happened. The government of Liberia should have basically passed a decree by the president, right? ISO speaks coming to the country. The government is going to handle the whole entire thing, itinerary, everything. There's going to be government people there steering everything, working with the people on the ground, whatever like that. I think he just comes to the country and just starts filming. But when somebody is that big, right, they should meet him at the airport before he gets his visa and gets cleared to come into the country. He should be handed over to government officials, the tourism board, and statements to basically have a well planned out itinerary. They missed the ball with that. They missed the ball for the simple reason is that most African countries really don't have any power, any authority, and legitimacy among the people, right? And the only way you could do that is by taking legitimacy and saying, this is where we are in the country, right? Yeah, we got a lot of poverty and everything like that, but we're going to have to deal with this together, right? And then say, look, this is what the law is going to be. We're the authority, we're the elected body of government. This is what's going to be. We don't care. If you try to interfere, you will be held in contempt or obstruction. And the government should have taken control over their itinerary for ISO speed and whatnot, and it would have came out better. But you had people who led him to West Point, the biggest slum in the world. I don't like fufu at all. I ate fufu twice. I won't eat it again. Now, when people ask me fufu, I said I respectfully decline. I don't like fufu. It's nasty. Not for me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you something's good. If I don't think it's good, it's not good. It was disgusting. Yeah, that fucking garbage. People say it's good because they want to feel African and whatnot. And I don't fucking do that shit. They want to feel African or they want to feel like they're part. Look, the bottom line is this: I don't have to fucking eat no fufu to feel African. I'm fucking Black already. What the fuck I need to eat fufu for? You know. I don't like that food. That's poverty food. Fufu is really poverty food. If I was in extreme poverty and whatnot, and I was getting food from the fucking the Salvation Army in my country, whatever. Yeah, I would look at fufu. Yeah, if I was going hungry, if that was starving, yeah. But I'm not starving, so I don't need to eat fufu. I don't eat nothing. I don't eat no soups. And for only soups I eat is chicken noodle, cream of broccoli, New England clam chowder. Those are the only three soups I eat. I don't eat everybody's soups because I got this thing where I throw up very easy. Yes, I don't know. Less than 1% of Black America eats chitlins, Frenchie. Nobody eats chitlins. Less than 1% of our population eats chitlins. That's poverty food too. Hold up, folks. I got Sando Morris again. He's not tech savvy. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. You know. All right, I'm back. Yeah, let me tell you something, folks. All right, I'm back. Yeah, yeah, I don't eat chitlins or like that. I don't know anybody in my family eat chitlins. Somebody eat that. Yeah, you got nasty people, black people that eat anything. Some black people eat a fucking cow's ass if they give it to them. I don't know about what you call slow food is a. I don't know. Look. What you call people always say about soul food, but the depends on what you eat in soul food. Depends on what you eat. You got people out there. Yeah, sometimes, sometimes sushi has micro eggs on them, and sometimes they look at people's how people eat sushi. Their intestines are full of worms. You know, same thing when you eat a lot of Asian food. Sometimes not really cooked that well. So it's like so it is. So it is what it is. You know, yeah, sushi's full of worms. I stopped eating sushi. I used to love it but I found that's one thing I said, damn, because sometimes Japanese have eat raw fish. Fish not clean carry worms. Soul food. Black America has the longest life expectancy out of anybody in the world. We have one of the longest life expectancies. That's another myth they put out. Soul foods will slow kill. That's a lie. You got people down in the Carolinas that live to be 115 years old. Dark Migo. You got people down in the Carolinas that be living to 150, 120 years old, and they be eating their fat back and their grease and whatnot. Shit, I don't eat. They be living real long life. Person said, "What was it?" Look, Samuel Doe came to America and tried to meet with some black leaders and whatnot. He guy made a fool out of himself, right? And he met with Marion Barry, who said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a Doe dollar, Samuel Doe dollar, right?" And Marion Barry, the mayor of New York, mayor of DC, asked him, "Well, what are you gonna back it with?" Look at him, huh? What do you mean back it with? Samuel Doe didn't even understand what he was saying. He said, "What are you gonna back it with?" He said, "I'm gonna print another dollar, the Doe dollar." You know, he didn't understand what he was talking about. Yeah, yeah. Fish have worms in it. You got to be careful when you eating fish. Too much fish. Fish has to be well cooked. I don't eat any fish that's not fried real well because that kills the worm. It's not so much the worms, the eggs. And what happens is you eat raw fish, the eggs hatch and they be in your body. Yeah, so it is what it is. So it is what it is, folks. But back to the topic. We're basically, we're talking about this topic tonight, and the reason why we talk about this is because we have to correct history, you know, and we don't correct history, I was always asked, why is, check us out. Yeah, fried fish or grilled fish, as long as it's cooked. Hey, Dave, you got to have a snapper fish for me, a grilled snapper fish for me, you know. Snapper fish is so good, tender, you can eat it with the fork. You can sit there and literally eat it with the fork, So you like this. All day, I know the best. Where are you getting your snapper fish from, Dave? On the side, from the fish market? I tell you, my first meal in Liberia when I get there is I am going to have some cassava fish, my favorite dish, right? Potatoes. Uh, in this cassava fish, we're going to cut up cooked shrimp, a little mini shrimp, right? With potatoes cooked in palm oil, palm butter, palm oil, right? Red palm oil. Onions and that little tiny shrimp with the potato. That was the best meal I've ever had in my life. With cassava fish, nice fat cassava fish, right? I'm gonna have that, right? That's gonna be the best meal I ever had. With some fucking probably some green beans or salad, whatever like that. But I cannot wait to get there to taste my cassava fish, my potatoes, either potatoes or rice, right? I know I'm gonna have plenty of rice, so rice gets old after a while with me. Let me tell you something. There's a lady in Liberia just opened up a restaurant called Philly's Breakfast. She's from Philly, and she was basically trying to give American style breakfasts because she said a lot of Liberians, Liberians Africans, they be eating fucking heavy in the breakfast. They be eating fufu, rice, and chicken. Heavy breakfast. That's breakfast, man. In America, we don't eat that bread. We eat some grits, some cream of wheat, whatever, cereal, some eggs and toast and whatnot. That's how we eat breakfast in America, right? A lot of Africans, they eat a lot of freaking heavy food in breakfast. So she opened up a restaurant. Dave, no, you need breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You break the fast, whatnot. You're energized. It's a nice breakfast and orange juice and whatnot. You always eat breakfast. But Dave, you should check her out, man. I want to report on her business she's called Philly's. Her place is right near the Capitol building. Should check it out. I don't skip breakfast. That's all. Yeah, you can't eat heavy meals for breakfast. Yeah, Liberians do that, man. You can't be doing that. You know. I learned that when I would say that one place is Sea Breeze, right by the Cadesia, and we stayed there, had breakfast in the morning. I said, "This is breakfast, man." It was good though, man. But I was like, "God damn!" It was some beef, whatever, like that in the pot, right, and rice and whatnot. And they gave me some biscuits and whatnot. I was like, "God damn, this is awful heavy for breakfast." But it was good though. I was full for the day. So I didn't even eat lunch. So it is what it is. But we're gonna have our discussion tonight, man. Discussion tonight where we like this. I want to know how much did I hit. Diane said he was determined to get me to 1,000 subscribers tonight. And Diane is a good friend of this show, good friend of mine. He's a friend of yours. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine. Okay, folks, we are 23 subscribers away. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. 23 away from that magic number. I believe we're going to hit it this weekend. Yeah, we're going to hit that magic number this weekend, folks. You know. Yeah, Dave, there's a place in Liberia called Philly's Breakfast. Philly's Breakfast, try it out, Dave. Tell me how it is. They got waffles, pancakes. They got even Philly cheesesteaks for lunch or not. It's a Liberian girl from Philly. I am so proud of the young Liberians that coming back to Liberia with their ideas and their ingenuity and their energy and whatnot. They're building stuff. They know what they look. They know what our ancestors that built there, right? This is unlike any other country in Africa, right? If you're somebody living in a diaspora and you're from countries like, let's say, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, there's a chance you may never get back because the countries are controlled by tribal chiefs or whatever, or colonial forces and everything. Liberia is the only free country. Can't these fools understand that? You could come to America, stay for 30 years, go back to Liberia and build something for yourself. No one's going to stop you. The Constitution will always give any black person the right to settle there. It's the only free country. My great brother, Great African, I love that brother, man. He just says, man, we're so grateful for, like, you look at what other people are going through throughout Africa, the conflicts in Sierra Leone, everything's over land disputes and politics and all stuff like that. You don't have that in Liberia. That's only because of the culture that our ancestors who established the country did. Liberians are benefiting from that. You think they could come up with a country based on liberty and justice and all stuff like that? Yeah, small business is growing in Liberia, man. Liberia is like the New Orleans, the new Big Easy. Open up a business, man, with little or nothing. I'm gonna help my wife start her business, man. I'm gonna help her start her business. I'm gonna help her start her little business and whatnot. That's what a man does. Because my wife, I'll do anything for her and everything like that. I love that Liberian lady. You know. So we're gonna have a good show tonight. I definitely want to hear from Focus Dave tonight. See what he has to say about the topic. So well, if you got land in Africa, if you got a plot, yeah, you could parking and all that, but you have to be like valet. You have to drive the person there, then get there. You go offer valet service because you might be your parking lot might be away from where everybody's at, and you say, okay, we got valet service, blah blah blah. You gotta have some sort of security system in place where you take somebody's car, park it for them, and then bring it back to them. So there's 1,000. Look, when you get to a country like Liberia, you get your aha. If you got money, you'll get your aha moment. Some like young Liberian started his own driver app, like Uber. Sky's the limit. Logistics, transportation is the biggest issue in Africa. You'll never go wrong if you got a vehicle. You can never go wrong. You got a truck or something like that. And also, like I said, if you got equipment, a bulldozer, excavator, you'll always have work. You always have things to do. People always give you business. Right? How can you digestion? So yeah, so echo mother focus Dave. What's up, Dave?
Yo, good evening. Yeah, good evening, College Genesis. How you doing, man? You hear me
Did you
right?
did
You
you
hear
hear
me?
my yeah, I can hear you good. Did you hear my synopsis? I said how the ball was dropping natural speed. Shouldn't the government should have
Oh,
taken authority over that shit?
it was Akala. I was so mad at the whole situation. But once the first 5 minutes, I knew it was just going to be chaos. Remember, I was reminded. I said, remember, I was telling you for like 3 weeks. Don't let the man go to West Point. Remember, I was
Yeah.
saying that. And they started it in West Point. The first 5 minutes, I said, okay, this is going to be chaos. This is going to be chaos. You know, I don't know who planned it. I don't know. I don't know who was behind it. I don't know if it was a deliberate shot to just make the country look bad. And not
Oh,
only
yeah, and
that, not to just make the country
don't look past it. There's a lot of Liberians like that, you know.
and also I don't know if it was a deliberate shot to make Black America look bad.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
will
I
look
thought
at
about
that.
that too.
You
When I just
understand that?
people,
Yeah, yeah.
right away
You
people start
understand
saying,
me?
"Oh man, Liberia's a hood. That's the ghetto." You know,
Yeah,
Black America.
like because you got to look at it, because you got to look at where they started from. They start if I was running that type of or if I was running that itinerary, I want to started it off. We take some boats. We're going to Providence Island. We're going
Yeah,
some boats. Nice little fleet. We're going to just how the ancestors came back. You started off like that.
or
Then you introduce them to
Candasia,
Providence. Yeah,
Candasia, where Bob Johnson built the hotel.
Providence Island. Then from there, you take her from Providence Island. Then you take her to Cinco. You know,
Yeah,
take her to Cinco. You ride around the mansion. You see the mansion. You see Capitol building. You take her to Cinco. Then from there, you trickle it down. You know, but it was well. It was very unorganized. If you look at the stream, you know, why would you take them to Ducal Hotel? You know,
yeah,
they always complain about the old glory and the oligarchs. And this, why are you taking them to the old glory hotel, the AmeriCorps hotel? You know,
yeah. That's why I
a
just never.
shell of a shell. You know, that was a
Liberia's
waste of time.
Liberia's
That was a
public.
waste of time to take them. Yeah, that was a waste of time to take them to Duke. Another problem I had, you teaching a guy how to make fufu. You give him the fufu, but you don't give him no soup. This is the time to show your indigenous culture. But you didn't show your indigenous culture. You took them to Ducal Hotel and have them watch break dancers. That's not indigenous culture. Oh, so you're showing America, Black American culture in Liberia? No, show them the indigenous culture, right?
Yeah,
You know. So it was just a waste of time on certain things. You gave them fufu, you didn't give them no soup.
yeah.
You
Which I
see,
heard. I heard
your own, your
that's
own.
sick.
Think about no, no. Think about it. Your own country food, fufu. You gave them fufu, but you didn't give them no soup. You didn't give them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Then the jollof rice. Then the jollof rice. Oh my God, it was a catastrophe. No class. You give the guy jollof rice in a Chinese container with a plastic spoon. No class. No decorum. I know if the AmeriCorps was running it, it would have been class. You would have brought out the fine china and silver. You know, but it was just chaotic. I felt like everybody was in it for themselves, trying to promote themselves. They didn't want to show the guy the real culture of Liberia, and I feel like Speed missed out.
yeah.
He
The
missed
only thing
out.
was good was it when he was on Providence Island. That guy was saying
Yeah, that was the
Hawaii.
only thing that was good about it.
That's the
The,
only
the, the
thing.
only the only highlight of the Liberia tour was him being at Providence Island. That was the only highlight.
Yeah, he drunk from the same well me and Diners were drunk from. That same well.
Yeah, that was the only highlight. You know,
Yeah. But did you want
but
you
that's
listen to
what
the
you
guy that
know.
I was arguing with? That was Elvis's backup.
Oh man, he's a fool. He don't know nothing.
Hey,
He
I
don't
told
know
you so.
nothing.
Elvis
He
bring.
can't
I
even.
told you. I said I gotta get
He
him on
don't know
toes.
nothing.
Elvis is gonna bring a heavyweight up there. I said this little young man. How old are you, nigga?
Young guy. He
You
don't
ain't
know
shit, man.
nothing.
You don't know shit. You
He
don't know
ain't, he
nothing.
ain't, he ain't even read. He ain't read one book on Liberia. Come on,
As though what
he
people
can't
tell
read
him.
one book on Liberia.
And he got
I'm
Stockholm
tired.
syndrome.
I'm tired.
You saw how
My
he just.
thing is, Kyla. I'm tired. I'm tired of the campfire stories.
Yeah.
The campfire
And
stories are getting worn out. They're getting
yeah.
worn out.
Lies.
Give me, yeah, lives. Giving me camp. That's what they came with, like on Dinah Show. Campfire
You see what you
stories.
hear my boy Sando Morris? Now that's a scholar right there. You
Yeah,
know, I contributed to his
you're not
book for that,
coming. You're not coming. You're not coming. You're not. I know they didn't read any of the settlers' journals, or they didn't read any. They didn't read any memoirs on these people from the 1800s. These guys are
And
fools.
they have their own perception.
Fools.
And when they look like the white supremacists do, they don't put time to know you. They just basically have a perception of you, and they run with it. It's always negative. Yeah. Bantu Mandinka, what's on your mind, bro?
Hey, what's up, y'all? FBA, cut the motherfucking
Yo,
check.
yeah, yo,
Fuck all that shit y'all talking.
yo, 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 Bantu Mandinka, man.
Think I didn't hear you, huh? You thought I didn't hear
You
you,
heard
huh?
me earlier.
Yeah. I was laughing
Listen,
my ass off,
yo,
man.
Bantu Mandinka, you're gonna be 80 years old, right? I thought I had a dream about you. You're in a, and why it came to my mind. I woke up this morning, right? You in a assisted living facility in a wheelchair. It's like, Bantu, what do you have for lunch today?
That's right. If
Cut my
they ain't cut the motherfucking check by the time I'm
check,
80, I'ma still be saying the same.
cut the check, man. FBA all day, man. Cut the check, FBA all day. I said we gotta give Bantu.
Bantu, I wanna ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
Bantu, I got a question, man. Speed just announced today he's 100% African. He left FBA, man. What are your thoughts?
Oh,
Yeah, he
I
said
mean,
he don't fuck with y'all. Well, what are
you
your
don't rock.
thoughts? Yeah,
Uh,
he said he's 100% African.
from
He don't
where
got
though?
nothing to do with.
Angola, right?
Hey, no, he got his Ghanaian citizenship today, man. He got a diplomatic passport, man.
Hey,
He
good
ain't
for
fucking with
him,
no.
man.
Yeah, man. He not fucking with
Congratulations.
you, though. Yeah, man.
Leave
What's going on?
FTA. We don't need you, brother. Ghana needs you. Ghana
Yeah,
needs
but
you more than
hold on,
we.
but Bantu, man. You FTAs have been taking L's lately, man.
You guys losing, man. It's a big L, man. And he's
What?
gonna galvanize. No, listen,
Y'all wanted speed. Y'all got
listen.
him now.
No, listen. You're gonna, you know, you're gonna, you
I never
lost the
liked him
youth.
anyway, so
Anybody from 16 to 25 watching this young man, they're gonna follow suit with this guy. You know,
what they gonna go get their
so
Ghanaian
no,
citizenship? You really
they
think that's
You
they're
know, he's
the
gonna they're
Liberian
gonna be
citizen, Angola
no,
citizenship, all over.
all
they're
right?
gonna go
I
all
mean,
over.
listen,
This is
I
All over.
support them.
hilarious.
Go get your citizenship. Go follow Ice Your Speed. Go get fucked and watch you be trying to run back to
No,
USA.
anybody running back to America, yo. America, yo, this country's falling apart, man, too, man. There ain't gonna be nothing to
Shit,
go.
you ain't no fucking Ice Your Speed.
No,
Shit,
I'm
get
just
the
saying,
fuck
man.
out of here.
There's not gonna be left here, man. Like I said, man, you gotta get your passport and get out of here, man. Cause you be 80 years old sitting
Hey,
there
look, man,
on
I'm passport ready, but that shit ain't about nothing. Anyway,
so
Ice Your Speed, y'all got him. It's all good.
and we got
Have
more people too, man.
We're gonna get more people. Come on, you
y'all
know we're gonna
never gonna
recruit
get as
more.
many people as FBA. You
FBA,
could go and pray
FBA,
to that fucking
nobody
bush
wait,
all day. It's
Bantu,
not gonna happen.
outside these outside of the internet, right? Nobody knows what a fucking FBA is, right?
You know
No,
you lying, Colin. God damn,
I
man.
ask people all the time, young people all the time, are you FBA? What's
You
that?
who the fuck do you ask
I
young
mean,
people all the
I ask people
time?
all
Hey,
the time.
come on.
I ask people all the time.
What
And
young people you
I be
ask
like,
that
yo, do
was
you know
that?
who Bantu Mandinka is? Like, what
What
the
the fuck
fuck?
would they know me? Shit, I'm not no
I
fucking
said, yo,
celebrity.
they don't know who FBA is. They don't know who Bantu Mandinka is. They don't know none of y'all niggas,
They
man.
don't know who you
They
is,
don't know who
Colin.
Tariq is. All right,
Shit.
let me get
go,
Elvis on.
go ahead.
Give me a second, caller.
Step right up. Step right up. All right. Meantime, let me get Droop along. Steve.
Okay. I mean, with
And
the whole
fuck
ISO.
them chitlins too, Steve. Fuck you nasty
I
ass.
never had chitlins before, man. I know people that eat them, but I'm just saying most of it.
My family love that shit. That shit nasty,
Oh, so your
man.
family? Oh, okay. So I never had them before. Everybody talk about how good they are, but
They eat everything on that motherfucker. The ears, the feet. They ain't
oh yeah,
fucking.
pig feet, ears, all that.
I
Yeah.
don't fuck with it.
All right, can you hear me, caller?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right,
All
go
right,
ahead,
what's
Steve.
up?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
What's up, Steve? What's up, panel?
What's
What's up,
going on?
Cat?
I'm gonna go ahead and let Elvis go. Elvis was here
Oh,
first.
all right.
Yeah, caller. I mean, I was listening to the show. I thought you was really going to touch on the topic, but you kind of deviated from it.
Yeah,
But to the
the show got hijacked, and I do the
yeah,
show when my boy Sando Morris came on. He was a real scholar,
yeah,
Sando.
I want to speak on the topic, right? And that's a good question. Why doesn't Samuel Doe have a holiday? because number one, he doesn't deserve a holiday, right? And number two, he didn't make his birthday, for example, a holiday while he was serving as the head of state. But also, the impact that he has, Colin, when you go to Liberia, when you change your U.S. dollars into Liberian dollars,
I don't.
when you take a $50 out of your pocket, Liberian dollar, you see his face on it.
I try not look. If I see, I use a $500 bill. I use a dollar bill. I will not.
You never use
carry
a
no
$50
Samuel,
because his face
I
is
will
on it,
not
huh?
carry no picture of Samuel Doe in my pocket.
But everybody else do.
I
So
don't know.
that's it. That's
Why even exchange those? I never seen them. The
no,
Samuel
that's
Doe
fine.
dollar was always the dirtiest ones that they got.
No,
Is the
no
they always
problem,
Can I
put
Carl.
make
the
a
dirty
comment
one
on it
out.
when y'all finish? Let me make a comment
Hold up,
when y'all
when they're
finish.
all brown. When not,
Hold on, Carla. I'm making a point. I
they
didn't
know what I'm
interrupt
talking
you.
about.
I'm making a point,
All
Carla.
right.
So the point here is that he's left an indelible mark on the history of our country.
Oh,
Now his hold on, Carla. His actions as a head of state, was terrible. But some of the things,
Mm,
the main thing that he did
um,
is what many Liberians are enjoying today. That legacy will be forever.
how was that? So, how did he write the Constitution?
Kyla, I want to make a
Yeah,
comment. I want to make a comment when you
Carla,
finish. When
you
was
gotta give me a
finished.
chance here. Yeah, the 1985 Constitution
All they did, you know, the 1985
Jeez, I mean, Steve, I hope you're listening, man. I
hold
can't
on.
even get a word out.
Let me tell you, the 1985 Constitution, all they did was take the original Constitution and corrupt it.
It was
I mean,
revised,
senators,
right?
they had 2-year terms. They went to like 10-year terms.
It was revised,
It's a
right,
10-year
Carla?
term. So what I'm saying is this. So my thing is,
Not true. They went to a 4-year term. Charles
yeah,
Taylor
4 year,
was the
and
one
now
that
it's
made.
10-year
Hold on,
term.
Charles Taylor, because you don't know the history. Charles Taylor was the one that bumped it up to a 6-year term. When
Yeah,
George
what I'm
Weah
saying
came in there, he wanted to put it
the
back
whole
to a
thing is,
4-year term, but he didn't pass the
what was the point of
referendum.
changing it in the first place?
He revised the Constitution. Just how you got. Listen, Carla, you're being hypocritical, right?
The fact that, you know what the age for running for president of Liberia is?
I think it's like 30 to 32 or so,
35,
like that.
right? How old was
Or
Samuel Doe?
35. Doe was in his 20s. I think it was like 28 or so when he
Okay,
became.
so that was a constitutional violation right there.
Yeah,
Can
by
I
the
say
time it was
something? Can I
revised, he was
say? Can I say?
35,
Can I
Carla.
say something?
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Can I say something? Okay. People, Samuel Doe was never president of Liberia. Okay.
He's a
We can
dictator.
go back. Okay. Let's go back. And you can go back and read any book. You can even go. Okay. Let me give you one thing to go to. Remember when you went to Ronald when he went to the White House, right? When he became so-called president. Do you know Ronald Reagan never referred? Hold up. Do you know Ronald Reagan never referred to Samuel Doe as president of Liberia? He referred to him as the chairman of Liberia.
Let me stop. Let me stop right here. Harold Nagnese is such a cornball, right? He said school by Liberia. Just because somebody's a Liberian, I just had Sandro Morris on fucking Dynasty show, right? We just did a simulcast or silent show, right? And just because somebody's a Liberian, don't mean they forget. He don't like we don't know enough about history, right? That although Elvis could say some things that's accurate, that don't mean everything he says accurate. Just like everything, just me being Black American, don't mean authority.
Everybody on the panel, I want y'all to do your homework. Go back, go look at the video when Samuel Doe came to the White House, right? And see if Ronald Reagan ever addressed him as a president.
He said,
see the wording he used. He said chair. No, he said chairman. He called him chairman.
Dave,
though.
you're misunderstanding. Samuel Doe didn't become president of Liberia until 1985. He visited Ronald Reagan in 1982. He was the chairman of the People Redemption Council. That was his title.
And he never won an election. He never won. We don't know if he won that election.
Okay.
You know that, right? It's not accurate that he won that election. So that's why people argue that he was never president of Liberia.
All right, then. Go into the name of the presidents of Liberia. His name is there. He's one of 5 human beings. He's one of 5 people in the history of the country who's on our money. So he was president.
And revise it, it'll be changed. It'll be changed. He'll be erased from history.
Oh, Carla, this is the hatred, right? This is
It
the
ain't
hatred that you guys have.
It ain't hatred.
You
You know,
see,
so
what
like,
Samuel Doe did when he came into power, he didn't erase the contributions of the
he
settlers. He
couldn't
didn't
do
do
it
that.
because it was evident right there. You know, it was
No, he
evident.
didn't do that.
Yeah,
You
but he couldn't.
know.
He didn't have the power to do that. You know,
Okay, Colin.
it was evident.
You
You
know, that's
can't.
the hatred. You guys
You can't wake
project
up
your
and
hatred on us and you think we're
you know,
hateful.
you can't steal a
Yeah,
civilization either. You know, you can't do that. You know,
fine,
no.
Colin. Whatever you say.
But
It's just your
Elvis,
hatred being
with
reciprocated.
Elvis, half of Liberia hates Samuel Doe. That's why
Yeah, like
if you
I
really want to
myself,
get
like I
into
just
why
said,
he doesn't,
he's not a hero.
if you really
He's
want
not
to
a
get into the nuance, half of the country hates the guy, and half of the country loves the guy. So he can never get a holiday.
eh,
Can never get a
no, it's
holiday.
not that. We have hold on, Dave. We have, a Tubman birthday as a holiday, right? Now
Everybody
Tubman made
loves
that
that
day a
day.
holiday.
Everybody,
Hold on,
Everybody
Dave.
loves
Let
that
me
day.
let me speak.
oh, you go to
I don't want
Grand
to argue with
Villa,
you
you go
guys
to
tonight,
every
right? I want to
county.
be
Everybody
calm.
got their Sunday best on
Carla,
Tubman.
hold on. He was serving as president and made his birthday a holiday in 1970, right? Which is fine. He could do that. He was president for 27 years. He felt like he could do whatever he wanted to do. He thought the country revolved around him, and at the time it did. So he made his birthday a holiday. Fine. So Tubman made a lot of contributions to Liberia. He built a lot of things. He did a lot of things for the
They
country.
created
Nobody's
modern
taking that
Liberia.
away from him.
Modern Liberia, that's Tubman.
So it's not an argument here. You don't gotta take
I
something
don't.
away
Look,
from
I don't
somebody
agree with
to lift
one
somebody else's
person.
up.
I don't agree with one person having a holiday in his name. I don't agree with that. Like you do it in America, I don't agree with that either. You know, I don't agree with a Martin Luther King birthday. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Christopher Columbus Day. That's just me. But the thing is, there's got to be something because you cannot go to the average Liberian and tell them, oh, let's get rid of Tubman because I seen people from all walks of life in Liberia. When it's Tubman birthday, it's like, holy shit, man. First of all, people call you, oh, Tubman Day, man. Send me some money. Send me some money. They're like, that's what they always do,
You
right?
know what Tubman birthday is synonymous with, Carla?
I have no idea. Where the bottom is Tubman's birthday.
Going to the beach and getting drunk. That's what it's
It's
known
like,
for.
well, bottom line, I see people with their Sunday best on,
Okay.
their Sunday best on, Tubman's birthday is like the
And
biggest
it's
holiday.
fine. He can have a holiday. We're not mad at him
Everybody
for
has
having a holiday.
picnics. Everybody gets together. Everybody gets together. Everybody, it's like, wow.
But Elvis, you're missing the point. You got the power to get rid of it, and nobody has got rid of it.
Because we didn't want to get rid of it. Getting rid of it would be hateful to do. I mean, he was a president. He was our
But
longest
get
serving
rid of
president.
it.
He could
What
have
do
a
you mean?
holiday.
You're
No,
already
we're not angry.
hateful. You're already
No,
hateful.
that's not true. That's what you don't
It's
understand. You
already
think that it's just
hateful.
projection. It's just projection, Dave. Nobody wanted to take away the holiday. If they wanted to, they would have done it. The holiday, the contributions, the places that was named after them, it's still named after them. The thing that the people wanted was to have multi-party democracy. What we
Hey, everyone,
Okay, let
having
me ask
today, we
another
have a
question,
proliferation
Elvis.
of
Hold on.
political
Let me ask
parties,
another question.
and they're enjoying
When we going?
multi-party
When we
democracy. Go
going?
ahead.
When we gonna see a native man be the president, and then have a vice president that's a AmeriCorps? When we gonna see that? Because during Liberian
I,
history,
I,
we seen. Hold up, let me finish, bro. Let me finish. In Liberian history, we've seen the AmeriCorps share power with a native man being a vice president. So when are we going to see a native man be in charge and then have a AmeriCorps too alongside with him and sharing power? When are we going to see that?
okay. I've been advocating for that, Dave. On Focus on Liberia, I've been advocating for that. Next election, it's possible. It may not happen, but it could happen. I want Alexander Cummings to run as George Weah's vice president. Now,
oh,
in
no.
2000, one
That
second,
ain't gonna happen, bro. That ain't gonna
in
happen.
2011,
Yeah, yeah,
Dave,
that's a
in
stretch, man.
2011, Carla, hold on,
Alexander
I'm
coming,
speaking, man.
Alexander
Carla,
coming.
1 second.
Is,
In
is gonna be
2011,
second fiddle to George Ware? No, I don't think so, bro.
Carla, I was saying something. In 2011, Dave, you may know this, or maybe not. There's a man called Winston Tubman who is the nephew of the former President Tubman. He ran as the president. He's a American Liberian of the American Liberian
And
descendant.
I don't really
He
think
ran
so.
as
I
the
look for
hold
him. You
on,
don't look for
Kyla.
him.
He ran as the
I know
president,
him
and
actually.
George Weah ran as his vice president. So that ticket is not unheard of. You also has Charles Walker Brumskin, a Congo man or American Liberian descent from Grand Bassa County. He ran for president and got a good amount of votes. But the one thing that made him different, he spoke a native dialect. He spoke Bassa. He considered himself a Bassa man. He entrenched himself with the Bassa people. So he got a lot of Bassa support.
I don't know.
He
Like
don't separate
I
himself
say, hold
from
on.
the Bassa
This
people.
will happen when you mix primitive African culture with the modern state. This we could talk
Because
about.
this you're doing this again. You're going there,
I'm dead
being
serious.
disrespectful, and when I
Imagine,
say
hold on,
something, you
imagine
get
if you
all
basically
offended.
sit there and I'm running for the governor of a great state of Virginia, and we're talking about a fucking tribal language and shit like that. The people who have life and death decisions of our life, you worry about fucking tribal language they speak.
Politics is
That's
local,
what we're
Carla.
talking
If you
about.
don't understand that, you're not as
And politics
intellectual as I
local,
thought you
nothing.
were.
No, it's probably
It's
it's
local.
primitive.
Every country have certain
I don't know.
things that
I don't know what
politicians
this is,
seize
right?
on.
Look, when I'm looking at people like that, like my uncle Charlie told me, he said he knows George Ware. He worked with George Ware, right? He said George Ware. He said, man, you can smoke a joint with him, shoot pool with him, whatever. Coolest guy, and whatnot. He's down to earth, but he shoot some hoop with him, right? He said when it comes to politics and whatnot, you try to talk to him, it's like fucking talking to a fucking empty seashell. That's what they said. And I got confirmed by that when Dr. Kula met with him, with John Amos. They were like, John Amos was like, what the hell was that all about? They sat there and talked to him about the film industry, what they're going to do. We got support, whatnot. George Wade just sat there with a blank stare, like, what are you talking about? So the
Yeah, I
bottom,
mean, Carla,
and I'm saying to
uh,
myself, the guy's a nice guy, man. But I'm like, dude,
what is
man,
he? Is he a movie director? Is he an actor?
No, that's about he
You're
could not
going to a man to
communicate.
talk about something he
But
knows
hell,
nothing
he
about.
could not look Elvis. He could not articulate himself.
Okay, that's fine, Carla. You know,
And he's
that's
talking
fine.
about
Anything.
somebody's going to lead you and whatnot, communicate with you, communicate with the world on your behalf, whatnot. It's like, damn.
Yeah, you got a point there. He's not the most articulate. That's one of the
Yeah, I'm like,
criticism about him. That's fair. He's not articulate.
wow,
Fine.
man. So the bottom line, you could say that Elvis, right? But when George Ware, everyone told me, look, my wife's brother, little brother Richie, love him to death, man. As soon as I get to Liberia, he's gonna be right there. He's like almost like my son, Richie, right? A little brother. And I basically showed him that video of Welcome to Liberia. He was shocked. This was Liberia, right? Yeah. He goes, man, brother, life is hard here. Life is hard here. It's been hard for the last 4 years. So I said, just wait a minute. Yeah. And I said, let me guess. You voted for him, didn't you? He goes, yeah. I go, so this was 2023. I said, well, next election, think long and hard because you know why? I said, in another 3 weeks, I'll be on a plane back to the United States. You got to deal with this, right? He said, yeah, when Maya was here, when there was about the price of rice is
You
like
know, Dave was
affordable.
saying something, and you're doing that right now, Carla. Dave was
What?
saying that we in America we tell people how to vote. So you was telling your
I
wife's
didn't tell him
brother
how to
how to
vote. I
vote.
said, look, Elvis, you
You
didn't
told him
hear
how to
what I
vote,
said.
Carla. Stop it.
Hold on, you know what? Hold on. I did not tell him how to vote. You didn't listen to what I said. I said, it's you guys' election. I was at the polling station helping people get registered up in the polling station in Burrville, right? I was at the polling station in Burrville. I got built thing. I was helping. They were doing biometrics and people getting their cards and whatnot. It was all these people coming out to vote. Liberia has a high voter participation. You know, and I said to myself, then I would never want citizenship in this country because I looked at these people. I said, that's all the power in the world they have is that little vote they got. I told her brother, I said, it's your vote, it's your future. You have to decide long and hard. He probably still voted for Ware. But the bottom, you got to think long and hard about your future. How was it when my Ellen was here? And I went down. He says, we like George Ware, but he said, but life is so hard, man. Gas prices high. He goes, man, we can't get around, everything's just tough. He goes, we got rogues running around, whatnot. He goes, just different. And I said, I said, well, you got to think long and hard, about for your next election, right? And I left it at that. I'm not. So I told him, I am not going to tell you who to vote for. This is your country. It's up to you because you got to live with the consequences. Oh wait, I'll be long gone. I live my life in the United States, so you got to do what you got to do, right? And then once Volk got won, I got the reports immediately, right? And my guy Ross was telling me, he said, "Look, Tyler, man, since the election's over, George Wake seceded. He said there's a calming effect. There's a calm in the country right now. People are upbeat and happy and optimistic. Even before he even took office, he said they was optimistic. But I said, what? I said, and all these guys that I know like George Ware. He said, yeah, he's a soccer hero, you know. And I learned about George Ware from one of my guys, my guy Dylan. He had a group called Discussing Liberia that he introduced me to years ago. And he said, Kala, man, he said me, he said, I know, because Barton Cooler did not like Ware, right? And I didn't like Barton Cooler. He's a tribalist, but he
You know,
just didn't like
you
Ware.
know, you, you know how I look at. I love George Weah, but he
Oh, we
can't
all
be
do. We all
president.
do.
We
We all
can't. He
do.
can't. He can't. He not. This not his. You know how I look at it. I look at his sports career more than everything. You know, how many championships did he win? How many MVPs did he get? Is he a team player? I look at the sports, and from the sports, just from the sports resume, is more of an individual resume. It's not a team effort. So I don't know. I don't see it translating into politics. I don't see that hunger or that
But
desire to
yeah,
learn
I'll
on the
tell you a
fly.
story.
You know, it's not
I'll
because
tell you a
I want
story.
to saw it in sports.
I
You
became
know,
a
I don't see it.
I became a George Ware fan, right? After my guy Dylan told me this, and he was basically like, "Look, Carla, when we was in a refugee camp, right?" And he said, "Man, we were out of our country and whatnot. This was like the '90s." He said, "We're in a refugee camp, and we had one radio, right?" He said, "We're all guys sitting there, fleeing war and stuff like that. We lost a lot of our family and that." He goes, "And we're living in Ghana, represent. We were so shamed. Being Liberian was like the most shame in the world." And he said, "Then we will all gather around the radio." It really chokes me up when I hear this story, right? I think about the story. He goes, "We will gather around the radio, right? And we hear about this man named George Weah from the Republic of Liberia in France. And everybody in the camp started screaming and shouting, like he made us so proud to be Liberian. He lifted our spirits up in the darkest hour. That man lifted our spirits. And I say, you know something? I got to this day, I respect that.
Yeah,
He said, lift our spirits up, right? He said we were in there, the refugee camp, feeling like nothing. And this one guy proudly said, I was born a crew man from the Republic of Liberia. And that made them all so proud. And I'm the type of person, right? I have empathy for people. I see you when you're in your darkest hours, right? And I have empathy for people. And they've said, so Kala, he says, if you can give him some grace. And ever since then, I did. That's why you don't hear me going too hard on George Weah, because of that story, you know, that story right there. I'm like, and I still don't believe he's like, but that's up for the Liberian people to decide. I'm like, you want to be like, the best for the country, but if that's what the people want, and I'll just say that's what the people want, then I have to move to do something else. But it is what it is. That's what democracy is all about, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
Kyler, you was there. You was there when George Will was president. He's not the most visionary person, but during his presidency, of course, we had coronavirus for about 2 years of his presidency. Before he became president, the United
Yeah,
Nations mission in
something.
Liberia.
It's not even about him. It's all those people around him. I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's what most people say. Is the people around him and this and that. But for me, it's not even about George Will. I love him. I think what he meant to the country. One of the things that people like about him is, believe it or not, he's a peaceful guy. He comes from a tribe that's not very quote unquote peaceful people, but he's never ever called or agitated for violence. He's somebody that many people in Africa When he conceded at the time, it was unheard of for African presidents to do that because the votes were still being counted. He realized that he was
And he had the
17,000,
United States there. He got ties to the United States, and you know,
whatever that may be. But he realized that he couldn't surmount a 17,000 vote lead, and he called and he conceded. A lot of people was like, that's what we want to see in Africa. Even Nigerians was talking about it, that it was very great that he conceded peacefully and he handed power over. Most African presidents would try to rig it. They would try to stay there and try to mangle his way, like what Dave was saying. Doe did something similar, and they would try to stay there. So George Weah, for all his ineptitudes and all the things that he's not good at, he's a true Democrat. Lowercase Democrat, somebody
that's
who
that's
loves
actually a
democracy.
lot of that is his wife. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I mean, there
His
you
wife
go,
is the
Colin.
brains behind that, man.
You
His wife.
can't give credit to anybody for anything.
No, look,
He
I'm saying like this.
conceded.
George Weah is good, but
Kudos to him for doing that.
yeah, I agree with them, but his wife probably told him it's time for don't do it because I got the impression that he was like, well, blah blah blah, and then somehow he had to change her heart and said, I'm gonna go ahead and
No,
concede.
he's never been that. He's never ever did that. Even when he was in the opposition, there was a shooting during Ellen's,
No, but there was a lot
government.
of people, his supporters.
People got killed in his
There was a lot of
headquarters.
people. There was a lot of people basically in his camp who was telling him, "Don't succeed, don't concede." They calling him a sellout, a traitor.
That's of course. That's what I'm telling you. And he conceded. So give him credit for that. I give him credit for that, and that's fine. We got a new president. It was a peaceful transition. The new president is serving, and so far everything is
Now you
going
got
well.
all these
Hopefully, next
people out
election
there
we'll
now
have a
who
smooth.
are trying to use tax smear tactics and whatnot to try to undermine the current administration.
Oh God, Colin, you
That's the
think
whole
that
thing. I'm
you
not
don't think
serious.
they
I'm
did
not
that during
serious.
George Weah's administration?
The state of the nation address today and whatnot. I'm saying to myself, all these opposition out there, yeah, why don't we have schools? Well, I was like, dude, man, do they even put it in context that Liberia doesn't have a lot of money? They even know that?
Oh,
It's like,
Colin.
damn, man. It's like, jeez, how come I don't have a Rolex watch? Because we don't have Rolex watch money for your ass,
Nah, it's not the thing. It's the certain
No,
systems,
but
certain
they know.
systems
Hold up, they
in
know.
place to.
They know. But the thing is, something. A lot of people, voters and whatnot, they are changing their minds, right? Because they even started to say, so the government can't do thing. But they tell me, the librarians tell me, they said, yeah, people can
Kala,
see the change coming up right now.
Kala, I was in rehab today with the homies, with some of my homies. They said they want to sell the country. Came up again today, man. They said they want to sell the country.
What
I
the
asked them, I
How
said, how
much is it?
much? I
How
said,
much
how
is it?
much? I said,
How
how
much?
much? That's what I said. I
What
said,
they
we
say?
serious. I said, how
we might be on
much?
the car.
What they
They ain't
say?
got no answers, man. They ain't got no answers. They ain't got
Ah,
no price, man, too.
If we could
name
carve
I
your
said, how
price,
Liberia,
much?
baby.
if we could
Name the
carve Liberia
price.
in half, create an Afghanistan in Liberia, carve Liberia in half,
They said
every last
they
single
was
Liberian
talking about it
$5,000 a month as compensation and whatnot. I think that's a fair deal.
right there in rehab, right there by the
Yeah, we
former president
buying
house.
FBA
They
stand. We
said,
buying.
yo, we want to
Yeah,
sell. I said, how much? How much? If they give me a price, I'm gonna
yeah.
call y'all.
Yeah,
Word
Afristan.
up.
we'll move in. Trust me. We'll at least
Tell
grab
you.
one of those. We should at least grab Sino. Grab Sino and maybe Grand Crew, kick them out. Grab Grand Crew and Sino, combine those together. And so it is what it is. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, man. Like I said, if they would, look, now is the time, right? I guess we could probably grab a whole chunk of Nimba, Bon County, Bassa, and create an Afghanistan right in the middle, right? All that right there. We don't need fucking people had this idea. We talk about an Afghanistan that we need a port or we need a coastline. How the fuck we don't? Well, we can go down to the coastline anytime we want to. We just take a train.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And
study
Liberia got a
this.
coastline, right?
Well, yeah, look, the
Hell
coastline's
yeah.
overrated, man. We don't need. We just need land. We need a damn coastline.
I mean, they say, Kyla, the most successful and developed countries are the interior countries,
They
the
are the
ones that don't have land
countries that
access.
because
They work
we have
harder.
they work harder and whatnot
They work
because
harder.
they're not depending on ports outside. Just like in America, right? People don't understand how did the Midwest, right? How did that become the industrial zone, right? Not one of the coast cities like Michigan, Wisconsin, Cleveland, all that. How the hell?
Detroit, you know.
How the heck that happened? You know,
Well, you know, I got that river that go up to
but that river stops, right? And it
yeah.
goes to a canal, right? And that's what did it.
Yeah.
So
And
people
that's
use
called the Mississippi River,
Yeah,
Bantu.
the
Mississippi River,
Mississippi. There you go.
and then it goes a canal. There's a canal, like 150-mile canal that connects the Mississippi River with the lake area, Lake Superior. You know, Lake Michigan.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you can have great cities around the water or interior.
Yeah, so that was it. That area grew almost to the size of New York and stuff like that. Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland. I think that's actually bigger than the New York region, and that's the interior of the
Yeah, that's the
country.
Great Lakes up
Yeah, the
there.
Great Lakes region. That's
Yeah,
bigger. That's bigger than New York and
yeah,
whatnot. You know, the tri-state area in New York. You
yeah.
know,
Then you know it's Canada right up above that.
yeah.
So
So the bottom line. So this idea that you need coastline is a myth. You know, it's a myth. You don't need a coastline. We could build an Afghanistan right there, take land from Guinea, Ivory Coast, and parts of Liberia, and build a state right up in there and whatnot. We good, you know.
yeah, DK got a point. He said landlocked countries are
No,
poor.
landlocked nations are not poor. DK ain't
Nah,
never.
it's not. It's not. That's
So
not
tell me,
true. They do better. They
DK,
do better.
explain
They
Zambia,
do
explain
better.
Botswana, explain Zambia, and explain Botswana. You know,
Ethiopia. It's a lot of countries,
Ethiopia,
man. It's a
you know,
lot.
a lot of countries are landlocked.
Mm.
Explain Switzerland, Switzerland, DK.
Come
Explain
on,
that.
man. That's easy. DK, that's easy. They got all that fucking Switzerland money. They hiding in banks. Shit.
Yeah, so what? That's what we gotta do.
they ain't got nothing to
We're gonna have vaults
do
like a mile deep and with gold bullion. You know,
with
we're gonna
the.
take all the gold from Africa and put it in our banks, bullion, you know. So, are you with me there, Bentu Mandinka? Don't you see the future in
Hey,
Afghanistan?
build it and they will come.
I know, I'm determined to build it. I know you Negro will come because you know ain't no reparation coming, you know. Your black asses will be right over there, you know. Oh, he goes Switzerland's poor than oh,
Switzerland's
come on.
party, brother.
But you get this.
Switzerland is
Switzerland
just
does
a
not have to
place
go out. Look what
for
France has to
motherfuckers
do
to
around the
hide
world.
their
Oh,
fucking
look,
money.
Andrew,
Shit.
be quiet for a second. Let me address
Yeah, yeah.
this. France and all these countries have to go around the world, do all kinds of shit. Switzerland just sits there. Does Switzerland even have an embassy around the world? No. They got all that wealth. Everybody keeps saying stuff like that, and they don't even have to go anyplace, you know? Yeah, so what? The bottom line, they rely on other European nations, but they're rich, you know. Most of the gold reserves and money is in Switzerland, Swiss banks. They live off the interest, all the money people deposit at banks, and whatnot, you know. I want us to be like Switzerland, whatnot. I want to be the banking capital of the black race, you know. It's all about what you want, you know. Switzerland was what Liberia was supposed to be in Africa, you know.
Tyler, can I just put something to rest? And maybe you know the history of this. And BB Rodriguez is probably confused. She says Ellen Johnson Sirleaf have American Liberian ancestry. That's not true.
No, she don't.
Her her ancestry is German. You know, her great grandfather. I think her grandfather was German. Her her father is Gola. Her mother is Kru. So she has no American Liberian descendant.
She was just
Uh,
raised by them. She was adopted by them and raised by them.
uh,
That's why she has a name Johnson. She was adopted by them, you know. So she's not American Liberian. No, people thought she was. They thought she was a Congo woman or not. She was not. You know, she's a Gola woman and she's like one quarter German. You know, so it is what it is. You know, really, do you want the dusty Africans to get your good? You know, look, but we will have security like you won't believe, DK. We're gonna have, like I said, even when we talk about Liberia base camp, we're gonna have security. You know, Matter of fact, when I get to Liberia, that's what I want to work on. Work on creating a security unit. That's what I'm gonna do. So the bottom line, we ain't playing games this time. Ain't gonna be like, well, I'm sorry, we're gonna be fucking well armed, well trained, or ready for anything. So that's the way it's gonna be. We get in Afghanistan, we're gonna have military, we're gonna have tanks, we're gonna be able to defend ourselves against anything. The rest of y'all don't know, not afraid, man. So stop claiming us. Nobody, look, Baby Rodriguez, you're FBA. Nobody's trying to claim you. These FBAs, man, it's something else. And like they really do think everybody wants to beat them or claim them. I'm
Everybody
Black
want to
American.
be
Really
us,
want to claim
bro.
me,
Stop playing. Stop playing games. You know it's
I am
true.
not, I don't
Ah,
want to claim FBA. Shit.
hey, who are you? Nobody wants you to claim FBA. Get out of
I
here.
am. Everybody wants me to claim me something.
Hey, they called you a tether on the show. You said it's called you a
Oh
tether.
Hey,
man.
they called me Tether. They said I
You a
was
tether,
Jamaican.
Colin.
They said I was Jamaican. They just called me all kinds of.
Anytime somebody
You're a
disagree, you're
fucking
tether.
tether. I know. If
No,
I
anytime you
disagree, I'm gonna
disagree,
be a
you're a
fucking tether.
Tether.
Yeah.
I was from the Caribbean and whatnot.
You're a fucking tether, Colin. Shut up.
I was from the Caribbean and whatnot. College. I'm like, damn, that's news to me. When I never knew that. You learn something new every day. I'm Jamaican and whatnot. Then I said earlier, I said Richie asked me that, right? And I said, if I was two things, if I was Jamaican and Nigerian, I climb up the Empire State Building and dive head first off the.
Oh fuck.
Oh man,
That's fucked up, man. Y'all
I'm like,
Jamaicans and Nigerians call in right now. Don't
I mean,
take
it's
Somebody,
not. That's just my opinion. If I was
don't take
Nigerian or
this fucking
Jamaican,
shit from Colin.
I would dive head first off the Empire State Building.
God damn.
Carla,
It's
somebody
for
said
me.
that you said you had like a Jamaican uncle or something like that.
I ain't got, my uncle, my aunt Linda, her husband is Jamaican.
All right, so okay, yeah, so they not all right.
So I'm not. That's by marriage, though.
Nah, Colin's a
Right, that's by
Pan
marriage.
African
It's cool as
tether.
hell. It's cool as hell.
Like Measy named him the Pan African tether last time.
How am I tether? Now suddenly I'm a freaking tether all of a sudden. Proof that freedmen not understand that they were way before anyone had to be free. That was a good one. No, so hold on. Sirleaf did never claim she was a miracle librarian, Baby Rodriguez. She would never claim that. I think she was very clear.
But that is a good question. Why does Samuel Doe have a holiday?
I look. This is what I'm saying. When I'm learning about Liberians are just like Black Americans. They're a lot like Black Americans. They talk a lot of shit. Black Americans talk a lot of shit and don't do shit. Black America is the most hypocritical group of people on the fucking planet. And I think a lot of that culture of hypocrisy probably seeped into Liberians, because they're really facetious like that too.
Mm.
In other words, Black people run around talk about the white man this, white man this, but okay. They always say that I say some disparaging thing about Black women, so be tread carefully about what I'm about to say. Now, I be seeing Black women, dark skinned Black women with blonde hair in their hair, right? Black women talk about how they're so beautiful and all shit like that, right? Why do you got a blonde weave in your fucking head? And they'll tell you, well, Black women could have blonde hair and whatnot, the hypocrisy, but full of shit. We talk about, particularly Black women, we talk about white people as white people, but yet we do everything we can to look like them. Really. So I see the same thing in Liberia, right? They talk all the shit about the Congo people, but guess who they want to be like? The Congo people. There's something in both our cultures that's similar. Most Black people in America want to be white. I'm dead serious. Shoot me if I'm wrong. Black people in America wish they the fuck were white. They think if they stay in America long enough, they're gonna turn white. That's why when you tell them that you go, that's why they'll shoot you. Like I'm sure Aisha Speed's life is in danger for him daring to go to Africa. They don't want, so many people want no connection with Africa because it reminds them that they're black. That this ain't just a figment in my, yeah, you're black, nigga. You
I
know,
don't. Carl, let me say this real quick. I don't think Black Americans want to be white. I mean,
think
it more so like they might want white people's position in society, but I don't think they want to
black
be.
people in America wish they were, particularly black women. I know
Okay.
that for, maybe not black men, but black women want to be white women. That's why I think they right now they're trying to compete with white women for white men. They got their blonde weaves on and whatnot, you know, trying to compete with white women for a white man's attention. Black men maybe a little bit, but I know definitely most black women want to be white. They talk all that stuff they talk about or not, but then when the day I went into Beyonce's, these people threatened my life. The Bayhive, they threatened my life. You know, well, how's Beyonce trying to be white, man? Blah 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 blah. Well, I showed a picture of her. See how pale her skin is right now. That long blonde weave went not down to her butt. When I ain't being white. It's delusional. Most black women want to be white. Look at Beyonce. Should I play a video? They want to be white. That's
To all the Black American women in the chat, is that true?
Look
yeah.
look
Do
at
y'all want to be white
Serena
women?
Williams. Look at Serena Williams.
Yeah, Serena Williams. You know,
Look at Lil Kim.
Lil Kim. She did destroy. Lil Kim was beautiful at one time. Look at her now. All that plastic surgery. It's time to start telling the damn truth. And this is where you're gonna get the damn truth here, right? You know, most black
Little Kim plastic surgery wasn't purely based on
it
wanting to be white.
was bullshit.
She was attacked by her ex-boyfriend. She needed some
Oh, yeah.
No,
reconstructive
but Elvis,
surgery.
here's the part that maybe you have or have not heard. When they said they was going to do a movie about her, she said she want a fucking Chinese woman to play her.
She didn't want the dark skinned girl to play her.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
She was mad that little dark skinned girl played her.
That's crazy.
No, I get that. But I'm saying there is a fact that she was her face was badly messed up, and she needed some reconstructive surgery.
I guess you believe Michael Jackson really had vitiligo, reverse vitiligo.
Yeah, listen, Michael Jackson, I know some of y'all gonna hate me when I say this. Michael Jackson was the biggest coon out of them all, but go ahead.
He had kids. His kids were completely white. He didn't want
Michael
Negro
Jackson wasn't
blood.
no coon.
He had white people.
Hell
Listen,
nah.
listen,
You gonna
the
put some
skin
respect
bleaching,
on
the nose,
MJ name,
the
bruh.
skin
He was
bleaching, the
not
nose
no
jobs.
fucking
Come on
coon.
now.
I like Michael Jackson too, man. But let's be honest with ourselves.
Michael Jackson was a shrewd businessman.
That's why you're not going to get your reparations. You
Hey,
got to have truth, man.
fuck all that. Y'all
And you
can't
want to know
talk.
something crazy,
Y'all
y'all? When I
can't
was in
talk
school,
about
right? Most of the
MJ
white
like
kids, they
that.
didn't know Michael Jackson was black. They thought he was a white man.
Damn.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People, the world sees it, but Black America goes around like with their chest out when the world sees the hypocrisy. You know, the world sees about how you know. So it is what it is. You know, the same thing like I said about Liberians. Most Liberians wish they were the Congo people. You know, they big up their tribe and whatnot, but they Congoize their tribe and whatnot. Look, we got this. They'll talk about, the house they got, whatnot. They live this life of the Congo people. Come back whatnot, like pseudo Congo people, but they hate the Congo people so much. Same thing with Black America. We talk shit about white people, but we really want to be them. That's the truth, man. And we think we love them so much. We think we're gonna one day say, we love you so much, Bantam and Dinka.
Hey, motherfuck them and still cut the check.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that, Bantam and Dinka.
No, Carla, they're gonna get their reparations by doing what we always do, tearing stuff up. That's what that one guy from Alabama said.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna tear shit up.
Yeah, let's tear this motherfucker up, man. I'm with the Alabama.
They're ready for you, though. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go out there.
Hey, Donald Trump, we finna tear this motherfucker.
You see what they doing to them white folks, right? Up there in
they papping them motherfuckers.
Yeah. Y'all go out there and try to tear some stuff up. That's the same thing gonna happen to y'all.
Yeah, check this out. This guy basically showed up to protest armed, right? He's like 37 years old. Took his
Yeah,
arm. He was some radical, whatever, like that.
fucking idiot.
And they want us to join in, but these people said nothing in the same city.
Hey, Kyle, did you see Iman Omar? Somebody dashed her with a fucking syringe, but she didn't get hurt though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking at the TV. I just saw a picture up there. Maybe okay. Let's talk about it now. They said even Omar during Minneapolis town hall. I guess that's
Yes.
what we're talking about now.
Somebody gonna fuck her big head ass up.
You know, so I'm like, this is not my problem, not my fight. You know, I don't have to worry about ICE. So if I'm not worried about ICE, what the fuck I care about what they do? Let them
Yeah.
handle the business, you know.
I don't give a fuck
You
about
know,
that
I ain't
shit.
getting involved with that shit, you know.
They ain't got my check. Fuck them. Worry about
Check ain't coming, you know.
it.
You could believe, you know. If it gives you hope, man, to man, yeah, man. Keep hope alive, man. Hope alive, keep hope alive, man. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, man. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
Hopefully you gonna get that reparations check, man. I want my reparations. Yeah, like I said the other day, right? I'm reflecting on my life, right? I was influenced by a lot of dusty ass guru niggas over the years when I was young, man, you know? I'm
Oh,
looking back
yeah, you was talking about Steve Coakley. I heard you talking about him.
yeah, this dude was a clown, man. Come on, you know. I was influenced by him, you know. Oh man, Steve Coakley, whatnot, you know, all these people that people revere. When I look at right, this dude was a dusty nigga, you know. Same dusty niggas I have around me now, you know, just dusty niggas, you know, come up with all kinds of conspiracy theories, whatever like that. Blah blah blah. He came up with a bullet. Then what really did for me was he interjected about Liberia. It says, see, Liberia and the leaders of Liberia know nothing about the country. Where the Boule, whatnot. They sent the Boule, and they tried to get us to come to Africa and whatnot. You know, steal our. I'm like, this dude's a clown, man. You know. If people didn't hear that speech when he said about Liberia. Liberia was set up by the Boule to freaking send us, try to get us, steal us from our American birthright. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, these niggas, man. I tell you, you know. So,
Maybe that's true because they got all them what did Elvis say, them Freemason shit all around.
what are the Freemasons? Okay, let me ask you about Mandinka. You know, I mean, you're carrying an L on your chest right now from the OMEC debate, right? So let's see.
Yeah, no.
Let's see if you can redeem yourself. You want to have another debate?
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us, Bantam Mandinka, in your own words, what is a Freemason?
Nigga call a debate asking me questions.
Somebody gotta ask the questions, yo. Yo, what's the Freemason?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh, see, -1. You know. Okay, you're at -1 again. You know.
Asking me questions is not a debate, man.
Yeah, you
You
don't answer.
fucking interrogated me, man. What the fuck?
No, man. Come on, Bantam
I plead the fifth, man. I plead
Yo,
the
that ain't how
fifth.
you have a debate, man. You can't be like waving a white flag and whatnot. So what?
I plead the fifth in the fucking
Well, I
interrogation.
want to learn. Like I said, I want to be taught by the great Bantam
Can I
Mandinka.
can I answer the question, Carla?
Yeah, I was talking to Elvis, man. Get out of here.
Can I answer the question? Do you already know the answer, or do you want to learn the answer?
No, I'm asking you, man. What's up?
Okay. There's two kinds of Freemasons, right? There are the practical Masons who actually built temples and cathedrals and things like that. Those men were free in the sense that they wasn't working for anybody else. They got hired by emperors and kings to build great structures. And then you have the speculative Masons. These are men who built their temples in the hearts of men. So they're not building brick and mortars. They're building great men to achieve great goals. So these are the people that do the rituals and the ceremonies of
Yeah,
Harlem
so
Abib.
those would be the people like the Boule, right?
Yeah,
That's
those are
Steve Coker.
speculative Masons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those the Boule, Colin. See?
Yeah, but hold up. But what about the fact that you go all throughout Black America? You got huge stone structures built by men. We have a Masonic order right here in Virginia. Built
Yeah.
Masonic. We have the Prince Hall
My
Masons.
uncle-in-law had a lodge in Orange County.
Okay, so the bottom line is that we actually had stone
Freemasons,
real stone
nigga.
masons. You know,
Wow.
that built churches, cathedrals, some of everything in Black America, and we transported that to Liberia and Sierra Leone because Foray Bay College was built by Black Masons. You
Yeah,
know, a lot of
college.
structures you see, temples and stuff like that, were built by Black Masons in West Africa and African Masonic Order and stuff like that. So we
Yeah,
have both in Liberia and we have both over here.
yeah, that's them bullet niggas, man. They
But
try
there's
to.
nothing wrong with a fucking Mason. People are like, oh, Masons, blah blah blah. It's all around because anytime you have a secret society, I believe in secret societies, right? I don't believe in organizations. I believe in secret societies. You get more stuff done. This fool as African can't justify magic because it's in your DNA. What is Baby Rodriguez saying? I don't know.
You talking about, baby? Come up to the show.
Sirleaf is liar, librarian, you plea. Sirleaf never said she was a miracle librarian that I know of. You guys, people thought she was, but she never said she was a miracle librarian or Congo people, They never said that. People assume she was. Bob Johnson assumed she was because she had the name Johnson. They assumed because she was a light skinned lady that she was. But I met Vaughn Sherman's wife, right? I think I didn't get a hold of her. I got her information. She's like I got her. It's in the back of my novel. I showed her my novel. I got her information, contacted with her and Vaughn Sherman. She said that is a wicked woman. That's what she said out of her mouth. She goes, that is a wicked woman, right? Because she tried to destroy her husband, and whatnot. I don't know what the hell happened in the election.
Yeah, because she pretty much almost bankrupted Barney Sherman. Barney Sherman was the one that bankrolled the Unity Party, and he was supposed to run as the vice president. And then she went to Lofa because of votes and picked Joseph Boyka. So Barney Sherman lost a lot of money. And, he's a very smart man, made a lot of money here in the United States as a
Yeah,
lawyer, as a
so
chancellor.
she
So she
said
really fucked him up.
she ruined my husband. Whatever, she tried to destroy him, reputation, everything like that. She goes, "That's a wicked woman." And then her worker right there, he's in the corner cracking up, laughing. Listen to us. I said, "Yeah, he knows." He's in the corner just busting up laughing. Busting up laughing. That's a wicked, evil woman. I was like, "Damn." She said it. He's a wicked, evil woman. You know. Bob Johnson's as BET. I hope all deal fails. Hope that deal fails. What deal fails? What, like Bob Johnson? Bob Johnson pulled out of Liberia. He pulled out of Liberia. Ghanaians run that place now. Hey Dave, have you been to Kendrick yet? Hey Dave, you're in rehab.
Nah, nah,
Far from Kendrick, you're not too far from
nah. I
Kendrick.
ain't go there yet. I ain't go there yet.
Yeah, go there with Ross, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there.
You gotta check out Caesar's Beach. I'll give you an itinerary. You gotta check out Caesar's Beach. Uh, you gotta check out my Cooper's Beach was now Miami Beach. That's another place that's hot.
Dave, how long you gonna be in Liberia?
Yeah, a couple more weeks. I
I
gotta
wish
go
you
back to
stay there.
work.
I wish you stay there through March, man. I'll be there in March, man.
Crap.
Yeah, I'm trying to get me a remote job right now. So I want to
Love
get
track
something remote.
country.
I'm gonna try working from more remote too, man. See if I could do it. I'm all set up right now. Just have to get the confidence. Once I get over there, once I do my first remote sale, whatever like that, I'm like, oh man, shit, I'm staying here more often. I can stay here 5 months out of the year. Shit.
That's
No,
right.
I gotta come back to America for it. That's the whole thing,
Hey,
man.
did you watch that series Lovecraft Country?
That was that girl's Journey Smollett, whatever. No,
Yeah. No, you didn't watch it. Yeah, because in one of the
Journey Smollett.
episodes,
Journey Smollett.
yeah, one of the episodes, the black lady, she had turned herself into a white woman. Her name is Wumi Mosaku. That episode.
That was her real name, real life.
Yeah, that's her name in real life. A
An African woman.
Nigerian British actress.
Well, you can expect that, man. They'll play those type of roles.
Yeah, no, because when he was talking about the black woman wanting to be white lady, I remember that episode. She was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out this black skin." To be a white woman.
Well, that's look.
That's
Bottom line is this. Bottom line is this. This is what goes back to everything I preach in
That
my.
sounds like 1776 Lost Sister.
This is what I preach in my life, right? I said, look, by black men, the only race of people in the modern world, everybody else were nationalists. Gandhi, despite everything, was a nationalist, right? Mao Zedong was a nationalist. They got something, right? The black man in America has absolutely nothing for himself. You know, they have nothing. No government, no military. We don't even exist because we chose accommodation and like that because we got these people that fucking lead us. Every time I see these fucking people, particularly the entertainment sports stars, I'm not gonna be nobody's Charles Barkley, nobody's fucking Shaquille O'Neal, smiling ass, coon ass niggas. I'm a nationalist, right? We're pretty much trapped in this country called America. You know, in America, we're gonna die with no land, no flag, no nothing, no meaning. In other words, we don't exist to the world. Now we could basically go out and say we're American like this, but everyone's laughing at us. The people that freaking really are Americans are the guys sitting up there, the white guys sitting up there with power. Now, people say, "Well, what do you do about that?" I say, "I can." The only thing I could do is salvage what our ancestors tried to do 200 years ago, right? Which is building relationships with Liberia, Ghana, Angola, like that, so like that. So we at least have some semblance of what it's like to have some sort of autonomy and agency over our life. When people say, I only want to be an American and whatnot, what you're doing is just surrendering autonomy and agency. And what that does is this. You also surrendered your women. I want to tell you about black man. Listen to the show. When you decide you want to be an American, you just gave your women, your children, your history, your music over to the fucking white man. Hip hop is not yours. Rock and roll is not yours. Everything like that. Look, the bottom line is this.
Let me stop you. You can't say that. Let me stop you right
Well,
now.
how's that?
What do you call your? Hold on, hold on. Well, what do you call yourself, Carla?
Well, what do I call myself?
Yeah.
I
What's
don't call
your?
myself anything. I'm a person.
You don't call yourself an African American?
Well, that's what I'm labeled as, but I don't consider myself that.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Rico says Carl Lapier's laughing at me. Okay, I'm sure they're laughing at me, Rico. But Rico, I struck a nerve with Rico. That's why he's upset. Look, when you have no agency, right? You're like Rico Miller, no woman, no power, no community, no nothing. You ain't respected, no nothing. And a lot of you are gonna die old men. There's nothing more pathetic than an old black man in America. Nobody respects him. I mean, you might get a pity hug from some random white chick at a bar or something like once in a while. Oh, look at old Rufus Bantu Mandinka and whatnot. Let me give him a hug, make him feel good about himself, right? Cut the check, cut the check, cut the check. They even say it with you, Bantu. Cut the check. But the bottom line is this. When you have no power, you sacrifice being America because you have no power. Power means you can't provide for the black woman. When they look at Las Vegas, the white woman knows there's going to be power. Who do you think they're thinking of that's going to run the fucking, if they want to make it in Vegas? They think about a bunch of black guys that's going to own the casinos, something like that, or connected, or you think a bunch of white guys? Of course, a bunch of white guys. You settle for that. Where's your Las Vegas? Where's your Atlantic City? Where's your industries? Where's your Wall Street? You have nothing. All you're doing is living on the excess and crumbs that this white man fucking throws out to you. So that's why you get no respect. That's why our women want to be white. Because they feel that they're embarrassed, College proves like, I'm just telling the truth, man. I'm just telling the truth.
That's
Knowledge.
right. Knowledge make it born, son.
Well, he won't come up here. I guarantee that. I dare he won't come up here. I guarantee you one thing: he'll talk shit, but he won't come up here on his platform. He won't come up here and have me a debate to me. Anybody can talk shit in the chat room, but you got the balls to come up here and face me. You know,
Come up here and face some knowledge. He is easy work.
no, that killed knew you last night. You already struck out with 2 wrong on the Mason thing. You got 6 wrong on the Olmec thing. Yeah,
Man, I didn't come here for no goddamn questions. I came here for a
well, we're
debate.
having a debate, man. You know, you got to know what your facts, man. Too. You know,
Hey, I use Elvis. He just
it's
said
another
it.
nonsense, right? Someone in the chat room said you were saying it's not black versus white. No, I'm sick of hearing that shit.
It's not what?
It's not black versus white, and it's elite versus no.
Oh,
No, that's a nonsense they tripped us into back in the '60s and whatnot. You know, turned us into commie social justice words. No, this is black versus white.
yeah. Well, I mean, two things can be true at the same time.
No, it's not. No, rich versus poor. I have nothing against the black elite. I have nothing against the black elite. I do have somebody that's a white elite. There's nonsense that is those rich versus poor. You know, no. It's black versus white. It's a nation thing, you know. In a nation, you have elite and you have poor.
Well, rich versus poor is really just talking
Well,
about
there's no verses. I'm not against black.
classism. It's
Hold on,
classism.
hold on.
It's
Robert,
not.
hold on. Daniel Stewart is a billionaire. Do you think I fucking care that he's a billionaire? No. Stephen Hightower, right? He's going to be in a different class than I am because he's a billionaire, right? The thing is, he's still my brother.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
people get to a thing into. They try going thing. That's why we can't make anything. We'd be so much freaking powerful if we basically united. You know, that's what white people showed you. Like this, they rejected that rich. Not they're like, no, it's white. That's why you got poor white people who back a billionaire like Donald Trump. Only black people like that fools thinking like, oh, there's a black goulet, black elite, whatnot. What kind of stupid shit they believe in, whatnot. You know. White people, the poorest white person in West Virginia, they'll support billionaires like Donald Trump over joining force with your broke poor ass. You know, their pawns or not. You know, I said this is a guy like this. This is the sort of thinking that the reason why we're in no place right now. You know. The elites are screwing over everybody, but the bottom line is this: those of us who benefit from some of those elites and whatnot don't mind. You know, if I'm benefiting from the fucking elites and screwing over everybody, what the fuck I care? You know.
What
Not a
benefit?
racist.
What
Not a
ben-
racist.
Man? What benefit is you getting from a fucking black elite?
Well, the bottom line is, hey, I got a nice business that I'm running.
Oh, okay.
So the bottom line,
You got that from a black.
hold up, back to Bendika. I never got business opportunity or a job from a poor person.
No, I'm saying you got that business from a black elite person.
No, I'm saying from elite, whoever the fuck it was, you know. Now my
Oh.
point I'm trying to make is this principally. Fancy Bendika. The other day I had a show that was very poignant. I said we must the 48 laws of power says we must avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. You know, the unhappy and the unlucky.
Hey, listen, you making this point for them. The unhappy and unlucky is the poor people that you talking about.
Yeah, the unhappy and the unlucky.
That's
You're poor
classism.
because you're unlucky.
Ain't that a form of
You're unhappy. You know,
classism?
we must avoid the unhappy, the poor and unhappy. They always say classism. No, some people are just unlucky.
So what you do? You just throw them away, kill them? What?
No, I ain't saying
Set them
kill them.
on
You say
fire? What?
you
I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, you give them empathy, but you stay away from them. You know.
This thing is crazy.
Go
Let's
ahead,
set them on
Princess.
fire, Carla.
No, I won't go that far. But yo, Princess P, go ahead.
Yo, can you hear me? What's up, Carla?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's the top? You're all over the place. What's the topic right now? Because y'all went
Well,
from
we're talking
Sam
about
Doe.
Samuel Doe, but all leads to the same thing. It's all class thing, and Liberia is an issue of class.
You know, Prince. It all leads back to FBA. All at the end of the day, man.
No, I know nothing be like FBA. They always injecting themselves with something like they're important. FBA.
You know, at the end of the day, you know what it is.
If you go out there and shout FBA in a crowd, everybody like you shout, "What the fuck is that?"
Everybody watch their pockets. That's what happens.
Yeah, why the fuck would I shout FBA in a crowd?
You know what they'll say. You know what they'll say. Are you talking about the food?
Are you crazy, Carla? Are you trying to incite?
Hold up.
But Carla, one of the points you were saying, the reason I even tapped, you said something about your African Americans, low key don't have a land or a stake in America. I'm not understanding what you're saying.
He's talking about,
or even in Africa, when your ancestors went to Liberia, and so everything that you're talking about, your ancestors did, whether it's in America or in Africa, they did it.
My ancestors lost.
Well, how can you say they don't have no power? Why are you still 2026 still saying that?
Bottom line is this: my ancestors, the people that said my ancestors can't even get elected office in Liberia. So.
You guys have former presidents. The reason why is because you guys are not the quote unquote majority.
Are you on crack? What the hell is a former president gonna do?
Dude, you gotta look at the total. You're
man, I don't want to hear
rather than kiss. Hold on, Carla.
Like one of them light white liberals. Let's look at the bigger picture, dude.
No, you failed. You're repeating the terminologies and the logic of the Americo-Liberia people, right? But these people are not in power for a reason. These guys didn't rule in a manner that was inclusive. That the majority, aka the natives.
Let me tell you something. If you understand about Liberia, you can be inclusive all you want. When they want power, they're gonna take it. So you can be all inclusive all you want. In fact, Talbert was actually doing all that, bringing in, sympathizing, including them, and none of that worked. It was simple war. Like I said. Rightfully so. It got to the point where they didn't see the vision of the founding of the country, and they didn't want to be part of this country no more. So they overthrew it.
Or maybe they were not included enough in the vision of the founding of the country.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
You yourself admit that they still got the landmarks here, right?
Elvis. If that was the case, right? Like a topic of the show. And the person who brought that to him, Samuel Doe, how come he doesn't have a holiday?
I don't know. So explain.
Right there. It was never about that, So
hold on. Samuel Doe is a native.
Yeah.
And you're saying that the people today still celebrate and respect the Americo-Liberia people, right?
Yeah.
That means that there's not an issue of hating those people. There's an issue of what they did.
No. What I'm saying is this, though. There's an issue of hating them, but they like all the things that they
don't hate them, dude. Why would they leave the landmarks if they hate them? They left the landmarks because there's a love-hate relationship because of what they did.
The thing is this. They look at this stuff like this, Masonic temple building and stuff like that, and they can't bring themselves to tear stuff down because it's such a marvel and everything like that. Just like Ghanaians, right? Why don't they go destroy the slave castles, right? Because they're like, it sits there, it's a tourist attraction, whatever like that, and it is what it is. You understand? Why don't Ghanaians tear down the slave castles on the coast,
It is a historical relevance of the slave castles.
So the bottom line is this: same way the Liberians won't tear down Liberian stuff because they did contribute so greatly to the country. You can't that's like destroying the country itself, No, but
they don't even try to minimize the history and contribution. That means they don't hate.
Every time you look at this,
hold on, Carla. Right now, Philadelphia, the Trump administration is removing landmarks of African enslaved individuals that was in the quarters of George Washington.
No, that's not what happened. They were actually.
So what's going on?
What happened is this: they had some like exhibits and stuff like that on public thing that he had removed. You know, it wasn't landmarks and like that. It was just exhibits.
Dude, these exhibits were on landmarks, dude.
Yeah,
these houses.
I know that, but hold up. The bottom line is this: there's a place for those things they call museums. You know.
So they found. You know the reason they have it there because they found a slave quarter on the property of George Washington.
Hold on. Why didn't the black people get together and buy the property?
Dude, it's a historical site. It's George Washington's house.
Hold on. Why didn't black people get together if they were so concerned? Like, why do you leave it your chance to the white man to fucking that you should have known somebody like that was gonna come along?
Bro, it's a historical site, man. I don't get like the burial sites in New York is historic. You can't buy those places. They're included as a governmental historical sites, man.
The bottom line is this: who controls those historical sites? Us.
No, but that's not the. I'm trying to say, Trump feels threatened or feel bothered or hurt by that history that he wants to remove it.
The Bible says, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's." Right? He has the power to do that because he's a president of the United States. He can do whatever he wants. Right?
No.
Okay, but I'm saying a miracle Liberia did not remove no. They did not remove no artifacts. They still give credence to your people.
Betsy Van Seeker said no. Right? I'm not a Trump bootlicker clown. I'm just telling you the reality. You know,
Carlo, you're very much a Trump bootlicker. You surrendered to Trump all of your authority as a citizen.
I am not saying I agree with it. I'm saying, what the hell are you gonna do about it?
Hey,
that's not the reason I raised the question to show you that the miracle Liberians did none of that to the.
What exactly are you gonna do about it?
No. The reason I brought that point up is that the natives did none of that to the American Liberians, right? So they have more respect for your people than Trump does. In the same way, FBA.
What I'm saying is this, though: the native Liberians, right? When they see stuff like that, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I think they're victims of the Congo people in many ways. Like the fact that, you know, when I look at a lot of Africans, right, they go across seas, right? And when they go to Germany, they actually become Germans. More better than Germans. They become French.
Wait, did you just say they was victims of the Congo people?
No, I'm saying like this. They're victims of the Congo people's culture.
Oh.
You know? In other words, basically, they always complain that when a native comes in contact with a Congo person, he becomes, they would say, completely Congolized, you know, or queen, as they call it, civilized, whatever like that. And they lose all their native. So therefore, there was a deep resentment of the fact that the influence of this culture to make them forget their own native way of life.
So what the fuck was the whole coup about then? Shit.
Well, the bottom line, look, if you get rid of the people that's in power, right, then you feel that there's the people.
Anthony, you're just listening to Carla talking shit. He's not saying anything true. What Principe is saying is correct. The coup wasn't about hatred or erasure of the American Liberian contribution to the country. They wanted to be represented more in the government, and we have that today. The coup was, the mission was accomplished. It's not to erase the history of the contribution.
Let me ask you a question, Elvis. Then, if that's the case, then if that was supposed to happen, then why did Liberia lose like 250,000 people?
Because Samuel Doe started going after people who did the coup with him, and those people ran to their people, and he went there and attacked those innocent people. So the war happened.
So Samuel Doe did not use the democratic process all the time. He used violence, right?
Yeah, like I kept saying to you, Samuel Doe is no hero in terms of government. But he did topple a hegemony.
We had this.
He did topple the true weak party hegemony that was ruling for so many years in the country.
But now you cannot say
that's his claim to glory. The coup is his claim to glory, not his governance.
But didn't he get assassinated? Didn't Samuel Doe get assassinated
in 1990 by the same guys he plotted the coup with? You know.
Yeah, he lived by the gun and he died by the gun, right?
That was fucking crazy.
So my point I'm trying to make is this: Yeah, well, you said that okay, we got multicultural, multiracial democracy, multi whatever democracy, and I asked a question, right? If that was the case, then why would Liberia go through so much turmoil? Then, if the coup was there to solve the
Bro,
problem,
Kyla, war brings turmoil. What do you think come out of war?
yeah. So I don't
But
think.
that's not. I'm just saying that the reason why they don't have
Okay,
a
okay,
hit
hold on, okay.
is that they did. They would have removed all the
But you
history.
know what
Who was
though?
at
That's
war? Who was Liberia at war with?
that was a hell of a price to pay just to get in government, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not. No, it's
God
not. It's
damn.
no. Hold on. Kyla himself said when
Hundreds
he.
of
That's
thousands of
that's
people
not true,
died.
Bantu. Samuel Doe was in power for 9 years before the country went to war. 9 whole years he was in
a
power.
little tiny country like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Samuel
hundreds
Doe
of
was in power
thousands
for
of
9
people is a
years,
lot.
and then the war
Yeah,
came.
bottom line, you guys
Ellen
lost
Johnson
that little.
Sirleaf, the Congo people, they sponsored the war
You guys
to
lost out.
kick Doe out of
It's a
power
little deeper
after
than
he took them out through a coup. That's the
Oh
problem.
shit! So Elvis said the Congo people sponsored the war.
Oh, that's a
Carla?
lie. It knows a lie. Look, everything that comes out of these
That's
people's mouth is a
absolutely
lie.
true. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said she
Look,
gave the first
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
$20,000 to
Ellen
start the
Johnson
war.
Sirleaf
She
is
said
not
it
a
through the
hold up.
Truth and
Hold up.
Reconciliation Commission.
We just
She
got
said
through
that.
saying. We just got through saying, liar, that Johnson Sirleaf is not a Congo lady.
Ah,
We just got through admitting that. Now she's a Congo woman because of convenience. See how you guys lie?
oh, got you there.
The Congo
Hold
people
on,
did
I
not
was
sponsor
busy
the
for a
war.
second. Charles Taylor, the guy who did the war,
And
he's a
Charles
Congo
Taylor was
man.
not a Congo man.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she's a Congo woman. John
Congo,
T. Richardson, John T. Richardson, who you probably don't know, Kyla, he's a Congo man.
Get this fucking motherfucker on my platform. Sirleaf is not a Congo woman. Charles Taylor is not a Congo man. Charles Taylor's a Gola man, and when he was one of the original coup plotters, he's a native man. So is Sirleaf. She's a native woman.
That was the
You know?
ones that you called that turned into a queen, or
Yeah, you know,
whatever you call it.
they take on them, but they're not real American Liberians. They're not like that, you know. The American Liberians gave up on Liberia. After the coup, most of them tell you, man, they fled. They went to Europe, they went to Ghana, they went to other parts of Africa, they went to the US. They pretty much left the country alone, you know. They weren't trying to get back in power. They abandoned the fucking country. Elvis, you ain't telling the truth, you know? You're fucking lying. Talking about Ellen Sirleaf parts of the war. How did Ellen Sirleaf get to be a fucking Congo lady? Elvis lied so fucking much. He thinks I'm gonna let him get away with that shit. Hey Dave, help me out here, bro.
Were they mixed?
Hey,
Were they mixed?
Who said that?
Principe's talking. Principe, what you say?
I asked, are they mixed? I'm eating.
Oh, he said, "Are
No,
they?"
they
Was
ain't
they
mixed.
mixed?
Ellen Sirleaf does not have any American. Charles Taylor, his father is actually from Trinidad or something like that. You know, he has
No, but I'm saying,
I
are they mixed?
thought
Are they mixed tribe? If they mixed tribe,
well, we ain't mixed tribe. There's no such thing as mixed tribe.
like the
but
Congo people mixed with the Gola people, the Kru mixed with the.
but hold on.
No.
Look, can I say this real quick, Carla? I thought like Congo people meant any Afro descendants that came back. It's not just
No,
Black Americans.
that's not a case. You know, when you say
Okay.
Congo people, America, like you're talking about the people who came from America, right, and assimilated to a social class. You know,
That's
Charles
that
Taylor
they
was not
just call them, Steve. They just call them the Congo people. That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
so
and the
like,
bottom line, there's a distinction, right? Because you got people that live in the interior, right, who basically live with the natives, whatever like that. They basically are not Congo, American Liberians and whatnot. You know, they may look sort of similar, whatever like that. They're not. You know, Charles Taylor was raised as a Gola man. You know, culturally he's a Gola man, and his father was from Trinidad. You know, so he's like Trinidad. But they say he's half American. No, he's actually from Trinidad, you know. And some people were from the Caribbean, you know, and native, you know.
so what were Caribbean people called in Liberia?
Well, the bottom line, the Caribbean people were just called
they would have been Congo people, right?
Yeah, the Caribbeans were called Congo, you know.
That's what I'm saying. So okay, I'm
American
confused now.
Liberians, after a while, they start calling the whole group Congo people, you know. You know,
But
the first
the
Congo
main
people,
group was from America, basically.
the American Liberians were the people from the United States, right? The Congo people were the people from other parts of Africa and the high seas that were repatriated to Liberia. They settled in a place called Congo Town. And eventually the American Liberians and Caribbeans, all these people, since they were outsiders, grouped together and became so known as the Congo people because the recaptured Africans learned how to speak English, you know, and so they became the Congo people. You know, that was a better term than American Liberian. Tubman banned the term American Liberian. You know, so people didn't like being called American Liberian. They called Congo people. You know, the outside world called American Liberian, but the people call themselves Congo people. You know, or just Kui people. Kui people. Kui people means civilized, modern, advanced. You know. But Ella Sirleaf was not and she was raised by the Congo people. You know, she lived with them, but she was not one of them. She was adopted by them, but she was not one of them. You know, so it is what it is. Let me get this lying ass Elvis back on.
Tyler, that was such an embarrassment. I'm calling all the names of the so-called Congo people, and here you put me down. You know what a Congo is? See, we got it right. Congo are those who are, free people who was free, but who were not American Liberians, who didn't come from America. So the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, the Barbados, the people from Barbados, those are all Congo people.
But let's
So when
be
I
honest
say
with
Congo
ourselves,
people,
Elvis,
those are the people.
Let's be honest with ourselves, right? When people say Congo people, they always talking about. They forget people come from the Caribbean. They forget people come from other parts of Africa. The vitriol are from people that they perceive came from the America. Let's be honest with ourselves. They're not thinking about no Trinidadians. They're not thinking about Haitians. They're not thinking about Barbadians. They're thinking about black people from America. That's what the hatred is for. You know? Why should anybody?
Carla, you think that? You think your people are the victim? Me and you, we know more, so we are having
I never said
conversations.
my people were the victim. I'm just saying
No, because you think
it is
that the
what it
Congo
is. It is
people.
what it is. It was just a
Okay.
bad look. Look, if I could do history all over again, right? In 1945, right? If I can go back in time, right? Like let's say you put me in a time machine, I could go back in 1945, I think it was 43, when Barclay and Tubman visited the White House, first black men who slept in the White House overnight. If I could go back then, I would say, look, this is what's going to turn out. I would get my people out of America, told Roosevelt to give package and to get all our people out of fucking Liberia and just let it be. That's what I would do, if I had to do it all over here. But since we put those 35 years in, and now we can't just turn our back, so we're just basically going to salvage that. I was basically that 100-year, 1847 was 100-year centennial. 1847, 100-year for Senate, I would say that would begin to return back to America. That's what I would have done based on how things turned out, And then the Native Liberians could have, create their own society if they could, whatever like that. We take our flag, our seal, and bring it back to America. We're not with us, whatever.
Carla, you sound like a big kid, man. Can I ask a question? Why did the Americans support a coup against another? Not America. Why did the Congos support a coup against the Americans?
And go back home. You want to take the ball and come back home.
What coup? Okay, what are you talking about?
According to Elvis, he said that these other people who may not have been American, Liberians or whatever y'all call them, but they were from the Caribbean or parts of Congo or wherever else.
Elvis
right?
can't tell you that. Hey, look.
I'm saying, why would she put 20,000 up?
All I had to do is show you that coup.
John T. Richardson, Charles Bright, Charles Brumsky. Those are all Congo people. They sponsor the war.
No, but why? The question is why? Why would they fund that? Why would they?
Look. A lot of these people basically were fronting like this. So, like, you got to feel something. You have people that were in shirt and tie and whatnot. Like got educated, there was still a bunch of fucking primitive people. You know, that don't mean they're nothing. You know, that's the thing about Africans, right?
See, Carla, you're not talking about why. Why would a person who
He just said he trying to say they savage, they uncivilized, they didn't know no better. That's what he's trying to say.
That's simplistic thinking, though. Well, they have a reason why.
That's the one thing I can explain. You know, hold on, look, hey, yo, if the country spiraled into a fucking chaos, look? Let me give you an example, Principally, right? As bad as I think America is and stuff like that, I'm rooting for ICE in Minnesota. I'm rooting for the Trump administration to clear this shit up, right? I'm for law and order. I do not like chaos. You know, none of this that come out of chaos, right? So the bottom line is this: same thing with Liberia. So anything, I'll never support no damn coup because that's all it brings.
Sick ass motherfucker Rico Miller. He said, "Play the video."
I don't want to see it. You
know? Sick ass motherfucker Rico.
Yeah, he was crying like a baby, you know, like like this. Nah, I can't do that. You know? But my whole thing is, like I said, you know, anybody who tell you that what happened, Liberia, grew up in Liberia, and saw the like the guy Skylar was saying on Diane's show today, and a lot of people since I've been coming on talking about this, they've done their own research, right? Now I'm not alone anymore, you know. And a lot of people have done their research and said, "Damn!" And they look at the index where Liberia was projected to go and whatnot, and all was arrested in 1980 after that coup. The whole country spiraled out of control. Now, if you think that's good, then maybe you're saying that black people, the black race, like I said, the reason why Principe supports it, right? Because he comes from Haiti, and he comes from unhappy and the unlucky. So therefore,
no, it's a similar dynamic. I'm from the countryside of Haiti. The people in Port-au-Prince. Hold on. The people in Port-au-Prince.
I'm trying to avoid people like you. You know, because you guys chronic failure.
Yeah, that's chronic failure. You never ran a real society, bro. There's a dynamic of social dynamics. There's a dynamic of elite.
I do know one thing, Principe. If I had a choice between President Tolbert and Samuel Doe, I think I'm gonna go with Tolbert. I don't know a whole lot.
And you support that shit.
You're downplaying you downplaying the fact that they had issues.
Oh yeah,
they may have issues. The people from the countryside may have issues that was unaddressed.
Really supported that shit.
Hold on. Well, did the issue stop them from basically joining in the farming project? Maybe I should play this video. The farming projects, when they refuse to go back to their counties and develop agriculture and stuff like that. Was that? What about that, Principe?
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're calling people boy, you see how Trump moves. Trump, can I say something real quick?
Somebody call
Trump,
you boy.
You're infuriating the people and basically making it seem like you have to be a part of the city to be a human being, or you're a savage, right? So you're basically placating that it's inferior to be native.
Hold on. No, you know
a farmer,
right? If you go to Nimba, right? All my friends in Nimba, right? All friends in Nimba. They'll tell me that whatever was going on Monrovia, the coast, whatnot, we didn't have that problem in Nimba. We thought the American Liberians in Monrovia were some strange people from America. We had our own thing going on. We had our own schools, businesses, everything up in Nimba. They wouldn't care, even though some Nimba involved the coup or not, but they regretted it afterwards, right? They tell you they had a beautiful life in Nimba, and you go to Nimba.
Did great African grow up in Nimba, Carla?
Yeah, he grew up in Nimba.
No, he didn't. He grew up in America.
No, a great African was born in Nimba.
Yeah, but he didn't grow up there.
Yeah, so what the bottom line is, but Kyle Fambula and all the people will tell you the stories of their family and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were born here. Just like you said, I can't prove it. Can they prove it?
Hold on. But their families told them the reality. My friend Naya grew up in Nimba. So
now you're relying on what people's family told them. I was telling you what my family told me. They rely on
what people say. My guy, my Naya, right? And the bottom line, and every time I meet somebody from Nimba, they never talk about Congo people or American Liberians. Never. Naya.
But Carl, you're utilizing one area. I'm talking about overall, though, because everybody didn't even probably participate in it, right? So that means there's a group of people that did, and other people just stood back and watched. And some people,
and that's what the problem with people like you, Haitians and whatnot. That's why you're never gonna get nowhere, you know. And all I
why are we never gonna get nowhere? Can you explain?
Because about the way you're talking, you're never gonna get nowhere.
So you're telling me that if there was an issue, rather than getting to the bottom and the root of the issue, we're gonna just call them all savages, and that's gonna solve the problem.
There was a real issue and whatnot. Couldn't even put things in proper context. You were a developing country, and like Diane said on his show today, the native Liberian's life was no different than the rest of Africa, right? Unless the rest of Africa comes up or not. What you had is one civilization.
Yeah, that shit was some bullshit, Prince.
Carla, you met a kid from Nimba today on Dynasty's platform, and he disagreed.
That dude was a complete fool.
He wasn't a fool.
We left him off the show, man.
So, can I expound to a question?
I'm not listening to a 26-year-old don't know his ass from his elbow.
Carla, can I expound to a question?
Yeah, you can ask him. Go ahead.
So in the black community here in America, there's elites, there's people that like Carla who complain about when I talk proudly about the Black Caucus and all the other stuff that they're doing and the different fraternities and groups. Huh?
The Black Caucus is a joke, man. Come on.
There are jokes, so they're not rubbing shoulders with the presidential candidates and all the type of people.
Shoulders, that don't do a goddamn thing, principally. You know, rubbing shoulders like that. That's why I said your people, your country.
Hold on, but Carla,
you know,
but Carla, when they told you to shut up and vote, you like me took issue. Why? Because they were treating you like shit, right?
I don't look. When somebody say shut up and vote, I'll tell you go to fucking hell. I did not vote.
Exactly. Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because the bottom line, you don't tell me what to fucking do.
So why do you have not the same type of respect and humanity for your other blacks that were natives, who some of these elites was doing the same thing that these elites was doing here?
Yeah, well,
telling people to shut up and vote.
First of all, what we have in America is you have a country of abundance. Infinite abundance, America is, right? And people are kept out by systemic things, racism, Jim Crow, whatever like that, right? In Africa, Liberia, you're talking about a poor country with limited
Elvis,
resources.
was they telling people to shut up and vote?
No.
Nah, they were telling people to get their country asses out of the city. You know, they call them country ass.
The bottom line is this. If you basically come says that you want to basically, and like I said, it's just, you know, a situation, same thing goes on right now. You got a lot of young men sitting around Monrovia or whatnot with no work, no nothing, and all they do is sit around idle. The Bible says an idle mind is a devil's workshop. You got a bunch of idle men sitting around doing nothing, getting in trouble, and then they get lured into politics and stuff like that. So the bottom line is, principally, the same thing that you talk about, they talk about the American Liberians, they're doing the same arguments are happening today. Look at the state of the nation to redress, right? Same argument. Oh, the elite in Monrovia ain't caring about us. Well, same fucking thing. Almost 50 years later, they're saying the same damn thing. And you got a native man running the country. So no matter who, they were doing the same thing when George Weah was in power. That's who they are, principally. That's the type of people you're defending. They're never going to be satisfied. All they want to do is sit back and they don't want to contribute to their country and whatnot. All they want to do is sit back.
Man, that's so crazy, man. I hear white Americans say the same thing about us.
And you know something? The white Americans, what they're saying?
It's a fucking lie, man.
Nothing true.
It's a fucking lie.
A lot of times it's true. Black people want to sit back.
A lot of times it's a lie.
You know, and the bottom
line,
a lot
of times it's a fucking lie.
Look, I gave you a scenario, right? In the 90s, everybody was talking about investment clubs, right? I just pull up a thing, right? I said, if we had like 10,000 black organizations, then I look at this thing. They said there's tens of thousands of black organizations in this country, right? What if every one of them said, we're going to form an investment club? The average portfolio of investment club back in the 90s was like $200,000 of black investment clubs, right? If we can get to that level right now, you could have like nationwide $100 billion in a collective investment potential that we can hedge and buy anything we want to.
But you know, you know who fucks shit up like that? People like Jay Morrison, motherfuckers.
Well, it's bigger than Jay Morrison. He was just basically what he did was he tried to do it like the white man, you know. If I was him, I would have did residential real estate. He tried to do commercial. His heart was in the right place, right? He had the right idea, but then he did the wrong thing. When you raise capital, initial thing, they would say pay yourself.
Yes, motherfuckers like that fuck it up. Now, if you see somebody that's genuine and really gonna do it, you don't be like, nah,
Yeah, so he did. You fuck up, yeah, like that. But like I said, we got to move on. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
And what that's a beautiful idea, Carla, and they need to be done to establish known entities like the Nation of Islam,
Oh man, dude,
Black Caucus.
sit down.
They already got to establish. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Principally, these guys, look, these guys don't know shit about money and business and whatnot. No,
but a lot of these, you got to understand, a lot of these organizations have been corrupted and infiltrated and everything by now already. So.
No, but if you just have you need an established, known, reputable type entity.
Principally, we have literally hundreds of thousands of black organizations.
I know.
So all you do is just create those. Say, oh, you got 500 members. You got this. You got sorority. You know who starts investment clubs? Fraternity. They
fraternity, sororities.
And then
the Masons got their own shit. I think Jonathan is in one. Carla. He says he's in one in Cali. One associated with the California Black Natives and former basketball players. He's a part of one of these blocks.
Well, whatever. You can make it blockchain. You can make it all kinds of stuff. It could be a mutual fund. It could be anything, right? But the main thing is, if that becomes part of our culture, where black people that are part of an organization, and you put in, I don't care if it's as little as $20 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fund, right? $20 a month, like that. Go with the what do you call spiral funding? I had that years ago with Black Wall Street, with a Black Wall Street group and a community pipeline. That was years ago. We had that. It was a good idea, man, but it's mismanagement, you know, and so it fell apart.
All right, 2%. Make a Liberia great again.
Yeah. So the bottom line is this. We had those things and stuff like that. Instead of sitting around talking about bullshit all day, we get someplace, you know. And like I said, a lot of times people, when they said about Black America, yeah. Look at that girl down in that congresswoman down in Senegalese food is actually good. I looked at it. I never tasted it, but it looked good. You know, the congresswoman down in Texas, right? Well, black people talk about hooping and hollering and talking about immigrants and acting a fool and whatnot, you know, getting on the Congress, cursing Trump out when that. She quietly got Tesla to invest in her district, creating jobs for people, increasing the tax base. Wow. Going to deal with Tesla to build factories.
That's a good
whatnot, you know, getting all those Mexican Americans work. Look at the black so-called caucus. What do they bring to the table, principally? Not a goddamn thing. Principally, you can't even answer me. I said.
Hold on, what you said? You said the black caucus ain't doing nothing? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying, compared to what I see the Hispanics people doing in their districts, tell me what the black caucus is doing to create jobs.
To create one of them that I know of is that they're like them as well as like local church leaders. They're converting like old properties and church properties into residential areas to increase housing for blacks.
Daniel, dude, I didn't ask you the question. The Latinos are bringing companies like Tesla and building. In fact, you know how many the job base, the tax base, whatnot. Amazon, Tesla, those are real jobs. That's how you create a middle class, the money. We don't need any more rundown buildings, rehabbing rundown buildings.
No, not rehab. I'm talking about they're converting, like basically a turn down parts of their church.
Look, that's more mediocrity and poverty. I'm talking about creating, getting us to the next level.
No, I agree with you. I always say that about that's one of my issues with the black community of America in general. I have told you that before, is that they're not doing enough initiatives to increase housing, increase economics, increase logistics. I said that before, and that's why I disagree with FBA.
Congressional Black Caucus, because they do.
No, but they're trying. You don't think they're trying to do certain things? And
no.
Yeah, they
you sound like a native, man. You sound like a native, Carla.
Hold up, principally, they make $170,000 a year. They got the meals, transportation, healthcare paid for. The only thing they're trying to do is keep their job and making sure they paid and whatnot. That's all the fuck they're trying to do.
No, they actually make more because they do a lot of investments as well as like stock market trades and stuff like that.
For personal gain.
Oh, you don't think they reinvest in the community?
Oh, look at the community.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying a lot of the areas like where they are, there's usually a black elite there. Like you go to Washington, there's a good.
It's all bullshit, man. You know.
You sound like a native. Are you native, Colin? Are you native?
Native what?
Yeah. Collins
native Liberian,
Aboriginal.
man. You sound like you're complaining about the that's what you claim the natives were doing. You claim that the miracles were working.
What I'm saying is this: when you bring this to my face, right? I don't need the fucking Congressional Black Caucus and shit like that. I'm saying that if you're going to have political power or whatnot, show me some results. Then I'll support you. Like I vote for stuff that I don't directly benefit from, right? Like if I lived in that lady's district, that Latino lady's district that got the deal with to bring Tesla bring plant, I'd vote for her. Even though I'm not directly, I like seeing people doing stuff that's progressive, that's making moves. I don't freaking vote for nobody just because, you're black, I gotta vote for you. No, it's nonsense,
Is that true what he said? Tuber says there's only 4,000 people in the military in Liberia.
Yeah, it's a small military.
Oh yeah, y'all getting ramped over any day.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah, Principal, I ain't gotta say nothing. Oh, FBA collar, we're gonna shoot you down, man.
Hey, show us that flag, man, too. Let's see the flag.
Hey, hold on. Let me put the flag up. You gotta see this one, man.
and get the gasoline and set it on fire.
No. Hey, there you go, Principal. There you go, Principal.
1999.
There you go, Principal. It's the nigga you love to hate.
You're gonna be in old folks' home and whatnot. You're gonna be there, 80 years old with that flag. We're not sitting in a
You bought that from the website? Bantu?
Nah, I got it from another website.
Okay.
Because that one is black. The other ones will be white.
Oh, you got a
Bantu, you got the Senegalese flag, man? Your master switching over, man. What's going on?
Nah, I ain't got my Senegalese flag now.
Oh damn, man. You not up to date, man.
I'm gonna get one though. Don't trip. It's coming.
Rico, you gotta get your Senegalese flag too, man.
I'm gonna give you one. Don't trip.
But Carla, low key, what you're saying is true though. But you don't think that is a need to like view the relationship from a different lens of like reconciliation? That way, when you go back and do your thing, is a different energy there.
Beginning, right? We're not a people in America. We're just a disaster trying to do damage control.
Carla, you think those words help your people or hurt your people?
America is just a bunch of bad decisions and bad luck all mixed together.
That's not true, man. Carla, you speaking? That's not. Carla, you know the history of America, Carla? Carla, America's built on prostitutes, thieves.
What you call it? Principally, we were unlucky.
No. I'm talking about America as a whole, not Black America. I'm talking about America as a whole. These people reformed a bunch of thieves, broke people, mixed in with elites. That's what made America, bro.
That's good for them. But I'm saying
no. I'm saying they didn't preach. They didn't preach a defeatist ideal like you're doing right here.
Oh no, look, they didn't have to. They killed Indians that were in their way.
No, but they kept speaking of American exceptionalism.
The reason why they didn't have to defeat because they had other things to defeat. They had the black man to defeat. They had the red man to defeat. They had the British to defeat. Tell me who we're going to defeat first, Prince B.
Carla, when the black men put a foot up their ass, they slowly start to free us. What are you talking about? They didn't defeat no black man.
Their ass. That's the thing.
We did. What the hell are you talking about? How you free now? They used to call you not human. Why you viewed as a human now? You think they just changed?
Yeah, Carla, don't be trying to minimize our accomplishments here, man.
Yeah, you did not free ourselves, you know.
Well, I ain't say we free. I'm saying, but we stood up. You can't act like they just kindly just changed and started viewing you as a human being.
They had a civil war. After the Civil War, slavery was abolished. In fact, had the South won, we'd still be in chains right now.
But Carla, you yourself say over 200,000 Black Americans fought in the Civil War.
Yeah, I get that. We fought in the thing, but the bottom line is those guys basically never got anything out of it.
You got a lot of things out of it. Even part of Liberia. One of the reasons Liberia was.
If they got somebody, where's our territory at?
You have stake both in America and in Liberia, bro. I don't get your argument. Man, am I right, Bantu?
You sound stupid, you know. We ain't got a stake here in America.
Carla is trying to deny everything right now. I don't know why.
You know, what Pitts will be like is he wants us to be happy in mediocrity. I gave you a solution, right? I said we need to form our own investment clubs, and if we have a committee, a Congress of these investment clubs that's worth a portfolio of $100 billion. Now you're as powerful as most of like 80% of governments on this planet. Then you could do something. Black America could do that. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. For the same old nonsense and whatnot, controlled opposition, get out there and vote, congressional black caucus, all that nonsense and whatnot. That right there will work. Because once you have that sort of power, right, you can lend governments money. So the bottom line is this, until you get that sort of power on that level, where you have political power and stuff like that, where you got representation in the world by the government and your own diplomatic channels and whatnot outside the federal government, you're like above the government. Like the Jewish people, the Jewish community, they operate above the law in this country.
Explain that.
Well, the world Jewish. Okay, well, I'll explain it to you. Let me. You guys want to see some videos? You really want to see it? I think I'm gonna help you out here. Let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun. You know, I guess you guys need some education.
I can't say what I want to say, Carla. Your channel would get banned, bro.
What?
Nothing. I'm gonna leave it.
About the Jews?
Yeah.
I don't say shit.
Typing in the back chat.
Nah, this shit I gotta say it out loud, bro. But I ain't gonna say it. But you know, it's not good.
Carla, where you get this kind of thinking from, though, man? I don't get that. You see Trump come in. He even though he bashed America.
Bro, you don't understand. Trump has power.
Yeah. What power does he have that you don't have?
He has power.
I don't.
Don't you understand?
I'm not getting. So you don't have the power to galvanize your own people and build for yourself?
Military. I don't have an attorney general. I don't have a Pete Hegseth one night. I don't have a Treasury Secretary. What are you talking about?
You got to view your own community as your basis of power. Why don't you organize your community to have power within your community?
Principally, are you on crack? We don't have a community.
Carla. So why the white man has videos from 1932 to how to sell to the Negro?
The white man is in charge.
No, he's in charge because you relinquish your own power when you speak like that.
Look, principally.
Hold on, Carla. If a Haitian was to tell you don't got no power, you're gonna show me 101 ways how you got power. But the white man claims you don't got no power, and you fold. Why is that?
In the context of America, we don't.
Yeah.
But compared to other black people, yeah, we do.
That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So
no black person, other black people in America, has any sort of power over. Well, the white people do have power. They're the majority. No other group of black people hires us or do business with us or can hurt us in any sort of way.
How can you say no other black people? Do you know who owns some of these Popeyes and some of these warehouses? Do you know who owns some of these trucking businesses?
Who?
some of them are owned by blacks, man.
Yeah, I know that, but the bottom line, they're not black immigrants, so.
I don't get you. So you only can flex on black immigrants, but when the white man come, you folding like bed sheets, man.
Listen to me. I've been all around for years. I did all kinds of jobs.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a job or doing a business for any black immigrant. No.
Damn.
What the fuck? So you only can flex on black immigrants, and you even said your company. Hold on, you said your company lost to black immigrants, didn't you?
I don't want to flex on black immigrants. I'm just saying that the only group of people that can really harm us really is white Americans. You know.
Any group can harm any other group. But I'm just saying that in general, every group look at their own community as a power base.
Chinese can't harm me, whatever like that. You know.
But all those communities you're naming, they utilize their own community as a power base, and they don't say, "Oh, yes, the white man have power, but you do too."
That's fine, but the bottom line is they cannot. They do. I don't butter my bread with them.
I don't get so if a Haitian say, "Hey man, you guys don't got no power," this and you're bold enough to say, "Nigga, we got this, we got that."
You can say it only once. And I don't see any. I don't remember going down. If I go to my bank and I want a bank loan, that's not going to be a hate or in the fucking sitting behind the counter.
How you know that?
Because I know that.
So you telling me that there's no Haitians working in banks?
They probably are, but I'm saying, but what's the chances of that?
There's a lot of chances of that, man. What are you talking about?
I don't think so, bro.
What, are you serious? This is like, come on, man. Let's be realistic, bro.
Come on, keep punching him, Principal. I want him to see him get real.
He's not making sense, man.
Right? Look. Okay, I go down to the shipyard, right? Let's say I want to take a shipyard. I go down to the shipyard, right? The largest shipyard in the North America, right here in Virginia, right? Baltimore too. Between here, like a good portion of America's goods and cargo come through the shipyard, the shipbuilding, repair, everything like that. You go down there, and it's mostly almost all black Americans.
Doing what? Doing what exactly?
You whatever like that. It's all black Americans. Been there for generations. People work there.
So you telling me there's no Haitian, Jamaican, Nigerian import export people?
No, these are.
I know of them in my community, so I
talk about here. We don't have any foreigners here.
What you talking about in your city? You trying to say?
Well, the whole region, you know, you just don't see.
That's not true, dude. There's whole Haitian import export people.
You're talking to fancy. I'm telling you guys, like I said, you guys get together. In here, matter of fact, when I come down here to Virginia, right, I don't even see a lot of people from New York here. Most of the people who work here are people who had these jobs, their grandfather and whatnot, for almost 100 years.
Keyword, you saying work here? I'm talking about the import export people, bro.
Now they're in management, upper management. The kids went to college and whatnot. Now they're the supervisors, running the shipyard and stuff like that. Yeah, black people here run shit, you know.
I'm talking about the logistic company owners, like the people that got the.
Well, it doesn't about owners; it's about management.
So you're switching the thing, man. My thing is even the logistics, there's black American owners. So you're relinquishing into the white man.
Let me show you how it works, right?
Yeah.
Companies usually owned by a corporation, right? They own stock like that. They hire a CEO, right? A CEO basically hires to do operations manager. That's what you're gonna see most of the black people as is on that level operations manager, right? And on the logistics end, you know, operations control, human resources, and stuff like that. That's where you see most of the black people, right? The corporate level, right, might be owned by somebody fucking from France or whatever like that. They got a share in the company, whatever like that. But the day-to-day operation, what you see, and also the supervisors, the foremen, also that are mostly always black. So on the operations on down, you're gonna see mostly all black people, you know, here in the shipyard and Newport News shipbuilding, you know.
Hey, let me ask you something. I heard a professor say something about Fortune 500 companies. Black Americans don't have like Fortune 500.
Well, you got CEOs. Black people got CEOs. There's like 15 black CEOs of Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, but they're not the owners, right?
Yes, chief executive officers, something like that. You know, close to being an owner. You know, your corporation. You know, CEO. You know.
Yeah, that's the next level you're talking about. That's the next level.
Yeah, chief executive officer means that it's a corporation. They elected.
Yeah, I know what a CEO is.
CEO is like this, you know, He's not the owner. There's no owner. There's a board. Corporate board. You got a CEO and everything like that. You got a chairman, whatever how to do it. But that's how it works.
So you got to admit, black people have power. Principles, right?
Well, you got power as far as like local level stuff. Black people have power over other black people. In Virginia, you got black people that rule almost cruelly over other black people. You got a lot of black people in management positions, the post office, shit like that, are all black people, And you got black people with power, but you rarely ever see black people with any sort of power over large groups of white people. Because they outsource it. All the black people in power do is carry out the white man's orders. Really. In fact, everybody knows, right? If you work with a job, right? The last job I had was a place called Sullivan Global. It was an insurance broker's place, right? But it was captive, right? We had to work for them by salary. We didn't make commission. We just make salary. They gave us a bonus for sales. Anyway, I was on this campaign with Mutual Omaha, right? And this one girl, Gail, she was ahead of it, right? And then she started saying, "Oh, I want to pick people that give us special duties," and she started giving all these people different jobs and whatnot, all black. I'm like, man, now we got a problem here. As soon as you start giving black people positions of power, and they're like, "Yo, checking your time clock for how long you've been on break," and shit like that. They're doing all the things that they we looked at one of your calls and you didn't close right, whatever like that. You didn't mention this, whatever like that. Now, white people are too scared to approach you directly. So there's a huge grift in carrying out the bad news or the orders of white people to other black people. You understand? If you're white people type of black person, hire another black person, you always got a job.
So I don't get what are you trying to say that because black people are quote unquote ruling over other black people in management that they don't have power, or what are you trying to equate that to?
Well, they have power, but
you only proving my point.
Power is relative, right? Power is relative. Like some people, that's good enough for them. They get to get up in the morning, and they know they get to make somebody else's life better. Somebody's kissing their ass all day. It's all about power, man. So you never been in a position of power for it to be.
I'm not understanding it, but I'm saying I don't see an issue with that. If anything, I have black bosses and managers.
But when you tell somebody that, yeah, man, we got power, the average black person, 80% of black people have no power whatsoever, not even on their job. So therefore,
I don't see that.
So I'm serious. So therefore, when you start telling them about doing this, doing that, they'll know it's going to be the same situation. A few black people are going to benefit, and they're going to be on the bottom.
So what is the ratio of white people in power versus black people? I mean, versus white people that work?
White people psychologically benefit by being white.
Yeah, but majority of them are not, quote unquote, in positions of power. Yeah, no, so I don't see that.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They got white privilege.
that helps them socially, but I'm talking about in a workplace environment.
I have never seen a black person fire a white person, right? They know they could talk to somebody one night and say, silly nigga. Remember, there was an old clip of Eddie Murphy, right? He was Mr. Let me show you how it works. Let me find this video. Let me find this video for you, Prince. Eddie Murphy being white. This is how it works. Right?
I'm listening. It seems like you do what FBA be doing. FBA basically all they do is they could flex to other foreign blacks, but when it comes to the white man, they don't care if he's heritage, non-foundation. They don't care. They just fold to that guy. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So it's the collar is FBA. Oh,
you know what I mean? It's the same dynamic. You can flex to the foreign black, but when it comes to the white man, even if he's a fucking shoe shine,
the difference is though, Prince.
I'm not flexing to the foreign black.
FBA flex on everybody.
No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't.
Scared.
No, y'all don't.
FBA flex on
Hold
everybody,
on.
nigga. Everybody.
Show me.
Everybody.
No, Bantu, show me one video where y'all flexing or complaining about or calling out Elon Musk for firing and investigating FBA women and men that work for the government. I ain't never seen none of that shit, man. You niggas fold. If it was a black foreigner, the black guy just had a little show, Essence Fest, y'all niggas complain all over the internet. This nigga lost. These are good jobs.
You know,
60,000.
That was hilarious. Basically, like you said, you go in there, silly Negro. You know, you try to do something about white people in corporate America, like silly Negro. Like, man, get out of here. You know, when it comes out, it's like an unwritten rule, particularly in the South, right? You know. What's going on? Hold up. Show someone.
Wait, the show stopped? Somebody said a copyright strike?
Hold up.
Nah, we still live.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Stream unavailable. I think they blocked me for that
Eddie Murphy thing.
Wow.
I think I don't know. It says it's still live.
No, it says stream unavailable.
Oh.
Being suspended policy.
Oh man, you should have said fair use.
Fair use. Fuck, man. So
fucking Eddie
having
Murphy.
a good show, man. So this happens, man. Anyway, fellas, when the show is done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, show was done.
You think Samuel Doe will ever get a holiday?
No.
No, never.
Never. They don't give a shit about Samuel Doe. It's something they throw up every time they want to feel disgruntled about history. When they bring up Samuel Doe.
So you don't got no positive about him? You think that?
No, absolutely no positive about this fucking fool.
Your Haitian brother Musa said that's Doe ancestors ended the stream for slandering him.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right, take care.
God bless. Have a good night, man. Be safe.